everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps that I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Now, strap season, I know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he code switch focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. When the cop cars try to catch me, cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a piece, man. I ain't got no time for a piece, man. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, then you might want to get out of Dodge by the evening. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beat. If they don't leave anything behind at the evening.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a... When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they want to call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. When the cop cars try to catch me, cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin.
What's good? What's happening, everybody? What's going on, man? Let's get up in here. What's going on? It's like, man, there's just so much that came out. So much that came out since, Shakur Stevenson, coming out saying that he do not want to fight Devin Haney. He don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some folks up in here. I know everybody, trying to crank up and jump on this story, but there's more. There's a whole lot more. You got the sparring from O'Shaquie Foster, showing that O'Shaquie Foster was telling the truth. Even now we got Shakur even coming out saying that, yeah, he got tired, he gassed out in the sparring, which is, it's really not a big deal to me because sparring is just practice. Sparring is just practice, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that O'Shaquie Foster, stood on business and told the truth. This speaks to Shakur Stevenson integrity, as a fighter, right? And I want to pull up the sparring footage of O'Shaquie Foster and Shakur Stevenson, but I think, I don't want to risk copyright strike. I got it queued up, but it's like we'll see if we can sneak it in and take a look at the sparring between O'Shaquie Foster and Shakur Stevenson. What's going on, Donald? What's happening, bro? This stuff, we already kind of knew that Shakur Stevenson was a little shady. He's shady as hell, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the whole time, now, how you gonna have the gumption to go your ass up in the ring? And this man, told the world that he ran your ass up out of the gym. He ran your ass up out of the gym. Maybe you wasn't in shape, maybe you wasn't ready, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But to say that this man is lying, you know what I'm saying, it tells me a lot about Shakur Stevenson. And then, he comes up here and says to Devin Haney, like, hey man, we'll fight, you know what I'm saying, but we're gonna fight at 144. We're not gonna, it's gonna be for your belts. It's gonna be for your belts. But you know what I'm saying? I'd rather fight at 144. And then he's talking about a damn rehydration clause, right? At 144, already at the damn catch weight. So what is going on with Shakur Stevenson? It's looking bad, man. He looking bad out here in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we thought that Shakur Stevenson was a generational fighter, right? And I'm not, like really bullshitting about that. I really think that Shakur was a generational fighter, but he's not moving. He's moving like a scared, calculated, you know what I'm saying, dude. Even with the 144 catch weight, he don't want to fight Devin, bro. So it must be something happened in that sparring, bro, that he just do not trust that he can win against Devin Haney. It got to be. It got to be, because I don't think, it's just kind of hard to believe that Shakur Stevenson, with all the work he put into the gym, you know what I'm saying, and all the sparring, he sparred everybody in goddamn boxing, that he don't know what Devin brings to the table. Everybody only talks about the one aspect of Devin's game, which is the jab, right? And that jab must be scaring the goddamn world, because it's hard to get, the top guys in there. He can't get Tank in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Vasily Lomachenko didn't want to get in the ring for a long time with Devin. And this one, Devin was brand new down there. You know what I'm saying? Vasily, he was after Tank, right? He wasn't even after Devin. So what he just ignored Devin ass, you know what I'm saying? Until, he finally had to face him, and look what happened to him. Even though people, I don't know what they saw in that fight, but I saw a depleted Dev at 135, and he was eating Vasily Lomachenko ass up, bro. He was with them body shots. He was killing them. And Vasily, like usual, come on in the second half, fighting and burst. And he was missing half the goddamn punches. He was hitting Dev some, but by then, Dev had done tied up about 5 goddamn rounds on him. Just like in the Teofimo fight. You know what I'm saying? He didn't stop fighting until the second half. Right? So I don't know why people keep going back and acting like that's a loss for Devin when he actually won that fight pretty clearly, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty honest, you know what I'm saying? If I thought he lost, I'd tell you, but I thought he was pretty clear. And that's a high status fighter, right? That's a high status champion, right? But yet somehow they don't give Devin the credit. They don't give him his respect for that win. So I'm telling people, I'm saying all that to say, Keyshawn Davis, you know what I'm saying? He's got skills, man. Keyshawn, nobody's saying that Keyshawn is trash, but he's coming from the junior leagues into the varsity league, right? Right? He's coming from the junior leagues to the varsity leagues, and he's acting like he's already been at the varsity, and he acting like, somebody got to, like somebody got to pay him some attention when he don't even know how he got to 147. Shit. You know what I'm saying? They forced him up to 147 to try to block the Shakur Stevenson and Devin fight. So there's a lot of corruption going on here. And so when you see a move like that, you already knew that the fight was not going to happen no matter what. Hell, Devin could say, shit, I'll fight you at 140, and Shakur probably won't do it. He probably won't do it, man. I'm just trying to figure out what is going on inside the mind of Shakur Stevenson. Who else is he going to fight? Is he going to fight Gary Antoine Russell? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who he picks next if he's not going to go through with this fight. And then why even entertain, all this nonsense on Twitter? Why even entertain the shit? You know what I'm saying? If you didn't want to fight Dev, just say, man, no, man, you too big. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wait for a year. You know what I'm saying? And why introduce this catch weight shit? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, hey, man, I don't, I really don't want to fight it like that. And then if you're going after Devin, shouldn't Devin be making the stipulations? And then now they got a whole new argument going on. They got a whole new argument going on saying that no money for the fight. That's duck talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them got deals coming up with Zuffa Boxing, right? They got these lucrative deals. And now the narrative is that they're not going to put their top fighters that they just signed, to fight, what I'm saying, to fight as first fight in Zuffa boxing. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they do that? Because Zuffa don't operate under the same rules as the sanctioning bodies. They don't care that your fighter going to take a loss because they'll put them in there again. They'll put them in there again. That's how boxing's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? If you lose one time, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. I mean, you just go in there, you try again, right? Because both of these guys are top fighters, right? If they lose to one another, that don't look bad. Now, if he would have lost to, let's say, William Zepeda, yeah, that'll make you look pretty bad, right? Because William Zepeda is not looked at as a top fighter, right? But if they lose to each other, if Dev lose to Shakur and Shakur lose to Dev, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal, bro. So I'm trying to see what my people think. I'm trying to see what my people think out there because y'all already know what I think. So I said I'm gonna come back on here, Donald. I said I'm gonna come back here today and I'm gonna see what the people think. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of tired. I mean, people act like we don't want to see the Keyshawn Davis fight. The dude just came up there. He's brand new. He's saying he's untested. Just because he had a fight with Jermaine Ortiz does not mean he's been through the fire, bro. Most of us don't even know half the dude names, Yidgets and what's his name? Cepeda, not Cepeda, but Pedraza and people that he fought. These was low tier B level dudes, you know what I'm saying, by the time Keyshawn got to him, right? It's not like he fought Rowley or Ryan or it ain't like he fought anybody like Matias or beat up Matias or he beat up anybody that's significant. It ain't like he dropped Gary Antoine Russell. He hasn't done anything like that. There's nothing like that he's done, bro. So I'm trying to understand why is he all of a sudden, saying the man, saying that's going to destroy Devin Haney. And why even people are looking at him like that? Because to me, he's just getting his game together, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if Devin go out there and destroy him in 2 or 3 rounds, then people are gonna say, oh yeah, say he was, he was just a newbie, saying he wasn't ready yet. Which I told everybody that Keyshawn ain't ready yet, bro. He ain't ready for that pressure yet. Could I be wrong? Well, we'll see because it looked like we are going to get a Keyshawn Davis fight unless Dev wants to drop the WBO championship belt. And because he might as well forget about that Shakur Stevenson fight. He might as well forget about that because Shakur is not going to fight him, bro. I mean, it's just written in stone that Shakur do not want that fight. He want that easy money. And this is in no way saying that Shakur isn't a great fighter with a lot of skills, but where's his heart? Where's this nigga heart, man? That's what I'm asking. One day he's on top of the world and he's the best elite fighter, probably the best technical boxer that we ever seen. Next, what I'm saying? Next, it's all about the money. We ain't got no money. He wants 50% of the person. He's gonna price himself out of a legacy major fight. This is a historical fight between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson because we don't have too many built up fighters like this. In the sport today, there are 2 elite fighters. What is he talking about? He needs 50%. He sounds like Bud Crawford. He sounds like goddamn Bud Crawford. When he was negotiating, is Bud in the background? Pulling strings. He says it's a reason he beating around the bush with Dev and Shock. Yeah, and people say, because when I looked at the sparring, man, hey, Shock was giving him the business, bro. He was giving Shakur the business. You know what I'm saying? And now Shakur is coming out with the truth. Sometimes some niggas you got to, unless you there, they are not going to tell you the truth. Unless you there yourself, unless you saying somebody had to record that shit and finally leak it. You know what I'm saying? For the truth to come out. Oh, now here comes Shakur telling the truth behind getting exposed. This look bad, man. This looks bad. You know what I'm saying? Because sparring is practice, bro. Sparring is practice. You know, it is not a real fight. So for him to come out and lie about the shit, it looks bad. He says, black slick fighters that can manage distance and have a great jab. Both of them are like they damn near mirror each other. Dev is just a bigger version. I think Shakur got better, smaller skills, but he don't have Dev durability. You know what I'm saying? Because he damn near got dropped out the damn world when William Cepeda hit him with that little straight jab, that little straight punch. You know what I'm saying? When he was on the ropes, he looked like he was about out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? You said he already got Ray, Keyshawn, and Hitchison on the side. But what can they do for him in the ring though? What can put pom poms on? That's all they could do. So Donald says he says Shakur has not fight that type of style under the bright lights, and he knows if he loses a fight, it would likely be against this type of style. Under this type of style, he says that's why he needs the advantages. Well, if you let Shakur Stevenson tell it, he don't need that, bro. If you let Shakur Stevenson tell it, he's the man. He knows all styles. He's like some kind of boxing guru, saying he has inherited the powers from Bud Crawford. He sparred Bud Crawford for years, and he said he's to the point now where he can hold his own against Bud Crawford. That means a lot. That means a lot in the minds of, saying the boxing public, right? If he's saying that he can hold his own, even Keyshawn was trying to allude to the point that he could hold his own against Bud Crawford, right? So basically, saying Bud Crawford has passed the torch to Shakur Stevenson, the way it's supposed to be, the way it's supposed to look. That's the perception of it, and he's passed the torch down to him and Keyshawn, right? So now they're the new Bud Crawfords, at 140, 147, right? So, but none of them got the heart of Crawford though. None of them got that, that dog in them that Crawford got, right? Because if you challenge Crawford, he coming. If you challenge him, he's gonna come. You don't know when the nigga gonna come, but he's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna come, right? So it should be the same with Shakur and Keyshawn, right? So Keyshawn is acting like, say he's in overdrive. He's saying that Shakur Stevenson told him that he wasn't gonna fight Devin Haney. I say, what kind of shit is that? What is that? Why is he telling Keyshawn that he's not gonna fight? So is he doing that for the sake of Keyshawn going first? Is that what he's trying to say? Like he said, I'm gonna allow you to go first. No, nigga, you don't want to get beat. You don't want to get beat. You want Keyshawn to go out there and test the waters before you. You want to push him out there, right? And see what he looked like, and hopefully he can wear Dev down and take some fight out of Dev. You know what I'm saying? Before he gets up there, it don't make no damn sense, bro. It just do not make sense. I like Shakur and I like Keyshawn. But I do not like their character, bro. I don't like their personal character. You know what I'm saying? It's like they move like snakes, right? And they all up in the background, what I'm saying, plotting and conniving together, they plotting together and stuff. It's like I don't like that, bro. I don't like that. Dev is standing on his own. He's out here as a fighter, representing himself, representing his brand, representing his promotion, and these guys are all trying to get together, what I'm saying, and plot against Devin Haney. I know I sound like King Judah, don't I? I thought I'd never be up here sounding like King, man. You know what I'm saying? King can break this shit down for you like real easy. You know what I'm saying? How they plotting up against Dev, right? But I never thought I'd see the day that Shakur will be trying to weasel out. Now at 135, it was a lot of mumbo jumbo down at 135, right? People saying that it wasn't a real offer. I've heard, from 2 Cents and everything talking about, Bill said it wasn't a real offer and all this kind of shit. I'm like, bro, that's not what he said, bro. That's not what he said. You know what I'm saying? Because, Dev, if he was gonna, if he, how he's gonna try to fake a fight, he let Vasil Lomachenko fight, right? Why wouldn't he let Shakur fight? They trying to act like that Shakur is some kind of guy to be invaded, the dodge. You know what I'm saying? No, people want to fight. There's a lot of people who want to fight Shakur Stevenson. So why is he acting like people are trying to force him to do something? No, bro, you are a star in boxing right now. You are the man. You are the guy with the skills. You just beat Teofimo Lopez, which was a good win, and you beat him in such a fashion where we were like, okay, yeah, yeah, Stevenson, your skills, you sharp, you look good. Now we want to see you against the next best person. I don't care. Pick, excuse me. Pick somebody at 140 that's good. I mean, pick a Antoine Russell. That would be great. You know what I'm saying? If you were serious about keeping up the status and quality of opponent, right? So why are you crying about 7 pounds? Why are you crying? I mean, okay, Devin agreed to 144. He agreed to it. Now then you had to add so basically you adding stipulations so Devin can be the one that turned down the fight. That's the idea that I have in my head because you keep coming up with shit to block the fight. You know what I'm saying? You keep coming up with something, what you're gonna ask for 60%, you know what I'm saying? 60-40 split. That was coming next, and then they start coming out with, well, who's gonna finance the fight? Well, shit, I'm pretty sure either Turk or Zuffa Boxing gonna pay for that fight. And you know why? Because that's a big ass fight that boxing fans want to see. Not only do casuals wouldn't mind seeing that, saying definitely the boxing hardcore people want to see that fight. You know, so what's going on with Shakur? You know what I'm saying? What do he want an easy fight or do he want to tune up? You know what I'm saying? He need to open his mouth. And then, you know what I'm saying, he just got busted. He just got busted with the sparring shit. Now that done came out on him. Now that done backfired on him. You know, I'm just like, bro, your whole, everybody's catching up with how Shakur Stevenson really get down. Everybody's kind of like, it's kind of being exposed how Shakur Stevenson is looking out here in these streets, bro. We can't believe nothing the boy say. You know, you can't believe him. So now he got pressure coming up from Oshaki's side because now Oshaki, he has been cleared as telling the truth. And on the other side, he got Devin Haney. He got them Devin Haney problems. So, but really, this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. I think that Dev is going to end up fighting Keyshawn Davis. And I think Keyshawn Davis is going to end up getting exposed. I think he's going to end up getting exposed that because he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for no damn 147. He's a big boy. I mean, he can eat now. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to worry about missing weight, unless he's growing faster than we think. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to worry about making that 147. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind him fighting Keyshawn Davis first. I think that's a very interesting fight, but I do think that Devin got too much experience. And I think he would destroy Keyshawn mentally. And I think Keyshawn would destroy himself mentally before he even get to the fight. Because people don't realize how much pressure it is, especially when you're talking a whole bunch of shit. And you just put more and more pressure on yourself. Put more and more pressure mentally on yourself, right? To go out there and perform. So he's going to go out there and try to perform, and he's probably going to be doing a whole lot of throwing, a whole lot of dirty shit, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to know what to do when he sees that Devin is unfazed. When he sees that Devin is unfazed, because Devin has been in many championship fights, right? So none of that pressure really is going to be on Dev like that. I would say Dev probably was more pressured when he fought Brian Norman Jr. because he was just coming back off of that Ramirez run, right? Y'all remember how tentative he looked, and everybody was kind of like, damn, Devin look a little, he look a little mentally weak. Um, he looks a little tentative, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's never going to regain his footing and confidence. But look what happened, even though the fight didn't, after he knocked down Brian Noma Jr., saying it was kind of a hug fest, but you can already see that Devin, he was still boxing better than Brian Norman Jr. in that fight. And I think Devin, working with James Toney and, say working on his defense. And, Devin is always working on his craft with different legends, right? Always working. And I think that's the danger, that Dev, you don't know what he's going to bring, to the fight, and he always works behind a game plan. So Keyshawn, he's very athletic, he's very gifted, but with the experience, bro, the experience, the championship big stage experience, he's going to need that shit against Dev. And he can't come in there with his pop eyes, and he can't come in there bugging his eyes and sticking out his chest, thinking and being all aggressive. That shit ain't gonna phase Dev, man. Y'all know this shit. Y'all know this. It's not going to. It's not gonna. It's not gonna. He's not gonna have the same type of those tactics that he used with Jermaine Ortiz, Albright. That none of that shit is gonna work with Dev, right? Because Dev is way more experienced than him, right? So Dev is gonna be able to stand up to him, look him dead in the eye, and it's gonna be on and popping. So I don't know why a lot of people feel like that Keyshawn is just light years over Dev, just because they see that he's long and he's athletic, but he gets hit, bro. He gets hit, and he don't have better feet than Devin Haney. Once again, I'm breaking this shit down like I did with Brian Norman Jr. I told you guys, what I'm saying, they hyping this dude up and his feet are trash. And he looked like he was trash in that fight. Even though I do believe that Brian Norman Jr. is getting better under Ronnie Shields because he's reinforcing his fundamentals, which his dad never did. What I'm saying? His dad never prepared him, what I'm saying, prepared his feet, prepared his boxing ability, what I'm saying, have him to adapt in the fight, what I'm saying, to correct his mistakes on the fly. So I think that Brian Norman Jr. is becoming a better fighter. And he's probably going to end up fighting Devin Haney again because really, what I'm saying, it's like it's I think that Brian Norman Jr. is going to get better, and I think Dev is going to end up fighting him again because I don't see a whole unless Devin end up fighting Ryan Garcia, and that's going to be a long trip. That's going to be a long process too because build them. They're going to want to make sure that this boy ain't on no drugs. They're going to want to make sure that Ryan Garcia ain't taking nothing. So they're going to be on his ass with the battle shit. They're going to be on his ass, bro. They're going to be on his ass like 9 months out because you can dose and get the benefits of steroids, what I'm saying, before you even enter a contract, right? And you can float on those, so the residual effects of working out and getting yourself in shape and all that stuff. So build them. They want to catch Ryan, why he's not cycling, right? And they want to put Vader on him. And so they could watch that nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? So he don't have to go out there and face, face a Kryptonian, face a goddamn Super Saiyan in the damn ring. He says, I tell you for a long time, Shakur is a liar and a coward. And hey, I ain't gonna say all. I think he's a liar. I don't know about the coward part, but I do know that he's very cautious. I ain't gonna call him no coward because he do get in the ring and fight for 11. I'm never gonna call him a coward, but he don't want to fight certain people. And the people, it seem like he tried, just like Canelo. Y'all remember when Canelo, he barely beat Austin Trout. He barely beat what's his name, the Cuban. He barely beat what's his name? Ennis Laurie, how you say that shit? Laurie, right? He barely beat the boxers. So he's tried to stay away from, guys that box really well and can move, right? So it's the same with Shakur. He's going to try to stay away from the guys that can box, and you know what I'm saying, and the guys with long reach like O'Shaquie Foster and Devin Haney. So now we're starting to see a pattern, of a certain archetype of boxer that Shakur Stevenson don't want to face, right? He wants to fight the flat-footed, he wants to fight like the flat-footed, what I'm saying, bangers like brawlers like Conor Ben. That's who he wants to fight because he know he can outthink them. He know they can't catch him, right? They're always going to chase him around the ring. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Turks say, he's going to fight them with the Tom and Jerry shit, right? He's going to counter them. You know what I'm saying? When they miss, what I'm saying, they're not afraid to wind up and throw them long haymakers. And what I'm saying, that's not going to do it. That's not going to get the job done with Shakur. You're going to have to be a sharp, technical type of fighter to beat Shakur, or you're going to have to just have so much pressure and you're just gonna have to go through the fire with Shakur, and you're gonna have to press his ass against them ropes, just like Williams Zepeda did, and you're gonna have to falumaloom his ass on them ropes because he's not the best when it comes to parrying punches. You know what I'm saying? He don't parry punches the way Floyd did. He may parry a couple of them, but that motherfucker, when he get hit, his reaction to the shot is not that good, bro. I thought Williams Zepeda was gonna knock his ass out, bro. I was like, oh my God, bro. I was on pins and needles. I was like, man, I know he is not gonna let this little motherfucker knock him out. And I was just surprised, bro. And he talked about he did that because he wanted to get fans something. No, I at first I ain't gonna lie. At first I did think that Shakur was just fighting like that, but now I don't know. Now I think he did that because of his style, because of that pressure style was get excuse me, y'all. I think he did that because that pressure style was giving him problems. That pressure, that Williams Zepeda style, that pressure style right there, that Madonna, that Floyd Madonna, that style right there, and he tried to do the whole half Philly shell shit. He don't, he's another one that can't use that shit right. They need to leave that shit with Mayweather. They need to leave that shit with James Toney. They need to leave that shit alone, bro, because they don't have enough experience with it, right? And I noticed that Shakur said he was never going to fight like that again, and I understand why. Because you got Falumaloon, boy. You got Falumaloon, right? So I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Shakur. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that the old heads hate um, Shakur, but really we hate this new fighter shit, because all these fighters, they get an attitude. They get an attitude, what I'm saying? They get funky, what I'm saying? And then they throw a tantrum and then they take their ball home and go walk off somewhere and go do something else. Instead of, what I'm saying, facing the pressure of the public, what I'm saying, facing your fans and then giving your fans what they want. You know, I think the pressure is busting pipes. These new guys, they psyche can't handle the pressure that boxing fans is putting on them, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if they need to go see a psychologist. I don't know, what I'm saying, what these guys are going through at home, but they can't take the pressure, man. The pressure is getting to them, and they instead of facing, what I'm saying, facing the challenge and facing the rivals, they going off on the fans. If you go on Twitter, you see Shakur, you know, going off on the fans. You see Tank going off on the fans. And they say, hey man, the fans love your fights. The fans just want to see you take the challenge, bro. That's all the fans want to do. That's all boxing fans. It's not about hating you. It's just that you are dodging the smoke. And when you dodge the smoke, people don't believe that they are the fighter that they believe that they are. I don't understand how delusional that Tank fans can be, right? If he's not willing to take the top fights, it is what it is. Now, does that mean that Tank is a bad fighter? No. It just means he don't have the heart to fight the best. Like we're looking at Shakur. It don't look like he got the heart to fight the best. That's what I'm talking about. And people hate when you tell the truth from what you see. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, It doesn't mean that these guys don't have skills. It's just that they don't want to take a chance, bro. They don't want to take any risks. They want to fight easy fights. They want to fight for money, and that's okay. You can fight for money, but goddamn, you know what I'm saying? At least fight the top guys. But if you don't want to take that risk, you're cherry picking. You're cherry picking because it's going to be very interesting to see who Shakur fight next. It's going to be very interesting, and you already know he's going to get a lot of criticism. He's going to get a lot of criticism if he don't fight somebody that everybody believes that he should be fighting, right? Because he turned down Devin Haney, bro, again. And I just don't think that just like Canelo and David Benavidez, I think it's kind of like one of those situations. I think it's one of those kind of situations. I think Canelo never's gonna fight David Benavidez. Devin might they call what Dev is Debo Dev now. What I'm saying? Dev is definitely like the Mexican monster when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. He's like the Mexican monster, right? He just don't want to get in the same arena with this guy. And it just kind of lets you down because you thought Shakur had that mentality. Like, he had that Crawford mentality, like, it don't matter, even though that's what he want people to believe. And then he don't even really fight like that in the ring. He's just a really great technical fighter. He don't really fight like that. Now he beat the shit out of Teofimo Lopez because Teofimo Lopez, his fundamentals suck. And I think Teofimo Lopez, his confidence broke down in the fight because he got countered with everything. He got discouraged, and the more he got discouraged, the more his fundamentals broke down. Right. So Shakur mentally got to him, but he can't get. I don't think he can get Dev like that. He don't have those kind of advantages. You know what I'm saying? Dev is not going to make the same mistakes that Teofimo Lopez made, right? Because he's a lot more mentally strong. And plus, when you got a fighter that went through the shit that Dev went through, getting your ass beat, what I'm saying, by Ryan Garcia, even though this boy was hopped up on steroids, what I'm saying, but he got his ass destroyed and he was able to come back from that. That's a strong kid, man. That's a strong kid because I get the feeling if Shakur Stevenson lost one fight, he wouldn't be any more good. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I believe if Shakur Stevenson lost one fight, he's the type of fighter that he can't bounce back from that. And I'm starting to think that maybe even Keyshawn Davis. He may surprise me. Keyshawn Davis may surprise me. You know, he's still early in his career. That's why I say 15 fights. You know what I'm saying? If he gets this opportunity, I hope he make the most of it. You know, if him and Dev could get it on, let's get it on because I really don't have any faith that Shakur is going to will ever fight Devin. So he might as well fight Keyshawn Davis. Since Keyshawn Davis is pushing so hard and he's so hot in the ass to go up in there and fight Dev, let's get it. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Let's see Mr. Big and Bad, Mr. Mr. Silver Medal Olympian, what I'm saying? Let's get it on, you know? Because I'm pretty sure there's not one Devin Haney fan is afraid that Devin, is afraid of Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying? Devin has been working on this shit too long. He's dedicated. I think he's 100% back, and I see he's working on different things. You know what I'm saying? And he's continually improving in his craft. So I'm really excited, tell you the truth, because he really got somebody who want to prove themselves in Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis seemed like he hungry. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Let's see what Keyshawn can do. Because he's still on these podcasts going all over the place, clout chasing like a motherfucker. Right? He's just talking all kind of shit. And he making Shakur look bad at the same time by saying that Shakur told him that he wasn't gonna fight Devin. Like Shakur falling back so his little bro can get the smoke. This is crazy, bro. Boxing is becoming crazy and crazier and crazier. Zuffa boxing, they're gonna give Shakur a good deal. They're gonna give Dev a good deal. But you know, I don't know why everybody's trying to act like, well, I was just thinking too that Keyshawn is with Top Rank. Excuse me. He's with Top Rank. Now, I'm thinking somehow, I'm not trying to put a buffer in the way between Keyshawn and Dev because I think they can work it out. You know, since Shakur has taken himself off the table, what I'm saying, I guess it's time to stop talking about Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney, right? So how can he make that deal with Top Rank? Of course, it has to be a co-promotional deal, and I'm pretty sure if the money's right, what I'm saying, Bob Arum and all of them boys over there, I'm pretty sure they'll get that done. Because who else want to see Keyshawn fight? Who else do who else would people want to see Keyshawn Davis against? Right? He's definitely not gonna fight Shakur, right? You know, Conor Ben is fighting Ryan Garcia. I mean Ryan Garcia. So that's going to be a pretty good little fight because of how what their status is. Even though Ryan's a champion, he still got to show some consistency at 147. And I think Ryan, I'll pick Ryan in that one to beat Conor Ben because Conor Ben is kind of a straightforward, predictable fighter. And I do give Ryan Garcia, I do give him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Because he do know how to fight, bro. He just get caught up. He's kind of like a Amir Khan to me. And Ryan Garcia is kind of like a Amir Khan. He kind of like get caught up in his offense and shit. You know what I'm saying? His hands so fast like Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? He forgets about his defense, and that's how Tank set his ass up. Because he got that Amir Khan way of fighting. He just think he's just so gifted with his hands that nobody can time him like Danny Garcia timed Amir Khan and got his ass up out of there, right? So he's gonna have to be careful, because Conor Ben be throwing them things, bro. He might miscalculate, and get knocked the fuck out. But that's a potential fight. What I'm saying? That if Keyshawn bring his ass up at 147, why not try to fight Rolly Romero? Why not try to fight Rolly Romero? Rolly Romero is a good fight for Keyshawn. Welcome to 147. But if they can't make the fight with Dev, that's what I'm saying. Like he could fight Rolly Romero. That'd be a hell of a fight. But under the PBC, what I'm saying, that weird, structure that the PBC got, a lot of fighters just don't want to fuck with that. But the promotion, PBC, Golden Boy, Top Rank, they're trying to work together because Zuffa Boxing is trying to take over everything. So they're gonna have to make some concessions to let these guys fight. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have enough people in their roster to really keep it going like that. So what I'm saying, they're gonna have to make some concessions. Because Zuffa Boxing is they got the money and I mean, Keyshawn, he needs to fight. What I'm saying? If he at 147, shit, uh, you know, go, make just do a co-promotion with Zuffa Boxing if they could get along. You know, I mean, I don't know what the hell Oscar De La Hoya is going to do with Virgil Ortiz. I don't know what the hell is going on with that whole mess right there. That's a whole debacle. You know, I mean, shit. Where it look like Virgil Ortiz just got taken off the mat. I mean, is he placed on the shelf? What the hell's going on with Virgil Ortiz over there? He says Ryan and Amir both got caught for for PED. Isn't that something? How everything comes back in a circle. It's just weird. It's like, do these guys want to win that bad? Like, I want to see these guys at their best, right? But I do not want them cheating. I don't want them cheating. You know what would be like the number if Dell was caught with something in the system, man, boxing would. I mean, they would turn this motherfucker out. If Devin got caught with off-string, wouldn't that be crazy if he got caught with off-string in his system? You know what I'm saying? That would be fucking crazy, bro. You know, I mean, and so, but when Ryan does it, it's like they don't give a shit, bro. Certain fighters, they don't care. They allow them, when Canelo got caught, what I'm saying, with shit in his system. What was it, that stuff called Clementinol or Clementol or whatever that shit was. Then they changed the limits, because they talk about the meat. Bro, how long has Canelo been fighting? So he don't know that shit is in all that Mexican meat down there. Every Mexican fighter, they blame it on the damn meat down in Mexico. Isn't that some shit? It's like, bro, y'all don't know that y'all damn meat is tainted with that shit. Y'all know that because you're covering up other stuff that you're cycling, right? It's like, man, boxing, you got to really watch it, or you get fucked up like Dev got fucked up. You know what I'm saying? He got beat today. I mean, Ryan beat the shit out of Dev, bro. So I don't understand how Devin can wait this long. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people thinking like this too. Why is he waiting so long? You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, I mean, do what you gotta do, man. If you got to get this boy tested, you know what I'm saying? Make that fight. You know what I'm saying? Make that fight. You know what I'm saying? Ryan said he'd fight him. So I think that's the fight, in my opinion, that Dev should really, say if he can't, since he can't get Shakur Stevenson, go ahead and fight Keyshawn Davis. And then right after Keyshawn Davis, go ahead and fight. Go ahead and fight Ryan, bro. Go ahead and it took Mayweather years to get Pacquiao to take the drug test. Took them years. They could have been fought. You know what I'm saying? They could have been fought. But because Pacquiao didn't want to take the test, he's afraid of needles and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Floyd said, man, hey, I'm not scared of Pac. I just want to make sure we on a even playing skill. I mean, a competitive, a even competitive level, right? And I understand that, you know what I'm saying? Because Floyd got a lot to lose, right? And y'all seen what happened, you know. Y'all seen what happened. Now, Manny, I'm not going to say that, he looked slower or anything like that. It's just that Mayweather knew he wasn't going to have all this super endurance and throwing 1,000 punches per round, you know, because that's what that shit'll have you do. That shit will have you out there, where you never get tired. I have never seen Manny Pacquiao tired, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, you're gonna have to watch Ryan, man. I don't know what the hell he putting in this shit out here, man, but somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt if they keep allowing certain fighters to use. Look at Better Beef. He's 40 something years old, and he's still fighting like he's a young man and stuff. Come on now. I mean, didn't he have a test that didn't Better Beef have a test that was irregular? And then all of a sudden they give him a second test. Well, shit, man, he get to flush that shit out of the system, right? Or it's supposed to be the same sample, but we already know what time it is when it come to that. We already know. So, I don't know what is going on in Shakur Stevenson. I don't know what Jay Prince is trying to cook up. At least put the next opponent name out there. If you got all this shit going on with the old Shaky Foster, you got all this shit going on with Devin, at least put out your next opponent so you don't look like such a fool, right? Tell everybody who's going to be your next guy, right? Because you can't sit on that Teofimo Lopez win forever. You just can't do it. It's like, come on, who is Shakur? Who would be another? Who y'all want to see Shakur fight next? Who do you want to see him fight next? For me, maybe Gary Antoine Russell, if he's going to call himself a 140 pounder. I really don't think that Shakur wants to fuck with Abdullah Mason, and I'm not saying that Abdullah Mason is so good, so much better. That I think he could beat Abdullah Mason. But it's kind of looking like it's kind of looking like he don't want that kind of competition. He don't want that level of competition. Of a Abdullah Mason or a Matella, down at 135. It's just too much smoke for Shakur down at 135. And then you got O'Shaquie Foster, right? That's coming up. So that's a lot of smoke down there for him. There's a lot of smoke. And then they talking about Tank is coming back to fight Schofield. You got Tank, and they talk about the Schofield fight. I think Tank could eat Schofield ass up, bro. I've never seen Schofield in a fight where I just thought, he just, he's the truth or he's too much. He's another one that's fought nothing but B-level dudes, man. And then he done. I think Schofield has ducked more fights than he's actually won. And I'm being facetious, but I think that for him to get the Tank fight is kind of crazy to me, because all he ever does is make excuses and act like somebody putting voodoo on him, or act like he getting bit by magical spiders and shit. You know what I'm saying? That dude right there, I don't see why people think that and there's a lot of good boxing minds that really think that Schofield could beat Tank. You know, they really think that. I don't think I don't think Schofield. I think Schofield gonna go out there and get knocked the hell out. You know, if Tank isn't on top of his shit and he ain't the old Tank and he's allowing stuff to get to him, it might be more competitive than I think. But really, if Tank is Tank, he will go out there and handle business because Schofield don't have great defense, bro. He really don't. He's got good power. He's quick. He's explosive. He's got a strong body, but shit, I think once he feel Tank punch, he'll be like Frank Martin all over again. I think it'll be like Frank Martin. And I thought Frank Martin was going to win that fight. I thought Frank Martin was going to win. It's just that he got intimidated. You know, and I think it's going to be the same for Schofield in that fight. That's what I think. I think Schofield ain't going to be able to stand up to what Tank is dishing out. But it'll be good to see Tank get back in the ring and we start seeing boxing move forward again. You know, start getting all these guys fighting in the ring and starting to see some good boxing. With all this shit that we got going on, nobody's talking about the Duran Boots Ennis Xander Zaya fight. Nobody. It's funny how we get caught up with all of the negative that's going on. Saying that we forget the huge that big fight like that. Nobody's really talking about it. That I know of. And it's like, man, this is Boots' signature fight at 154. You know, this is a fight that's going to really change the trajectory of Boots, saying notoriety, his stardom. Saying he beats, and you know what, Zaya ain't even. It's just that Zaya been at 154 for a long time, and so this is probably one of Boots' probably the best opponent that he's faced, and so there's a lot of people that doubt Boots. There's a lot of people that think that Boots might, he might crumble under the pressure. But I think Boots is born for this shit, man. I think he's gonna go out there and put on a show. Um, is he gonna get hit? Yeah, he's gonna get hit. Xander ain't no punk, man. Xander is not a punk, but it's a fight that just you know, kind of like fell in the background. And plus, both of them are not real big trash talkers. You know, I mean, I think Xander is coming on, and I've been seeing him singing little things here and there that he's gonna he's gonna beat Boots and all this kind of stuff. But you know, really, what I'm saying, we all know that Boots is probably a generational talent, and he's gonna just have to prove it. What I'm saying, when they fight. And of course, we got our boy Earl Spence Jr. What I'm saying? Earl Spence Jr. is coming back on the scene. I see him putting more pictures online and stuff. What I'm saying? He's starting to get a little bit more active. And look like, I mean, EJ, he looks like, he's in shape. He looked like he's really ready, man. It's going to be interesting to see, how he performs. And I think that's going to dictate, we might end up getting a Jarambo Sinners Earl Spence Jr. fight. You know, we might end up getting that fight if Jarambo Sinners beat Xander Zaya. But I'm pretty sure he's probably going to want to go for the belts. But do we want to fight for another belt back to back? What I'm saying? We'll see what kind of fighter Boots is. It'll tell us the way he moves at 154. It'll tell us a lot. But if he beat Xander Zayas, he's going to be unified. He's going to be unified. He's going to have one up in the game, and that could possibly give Aerosmith Jr. an opportunity to be unified. Because if he goes Fundora route, shit, that's going to be tough for Earl Spence Jr. Because there's so much competition up there, and Earl Spence Jr. name got a lot of cachet. What I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of people shooting for him. So EJ is going to have to like really show and prove. He's going to have to really be strong. He's going to have to really put on a good performance against Tim Zoo. Or he's going to be fooled up there. If he looks weak in that fight against Tim Zoo over there in Australia. Oh man, they coming. You know, they coming. I mean, like if he win that fight, but he looks bad doing it. Man, when I tell you, he gonna have all kind of pussy punk ass people. He may have Mandrinoff coming out calling his name out and shit. He may have he may have all kind of people coming out for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's EJ. He's in a very weird place. But he still got that brashness. Just like when he went over there to kill Brook over there in England. When he went over to England, and he had 9 months off. He came off a 9 month layoff, and look, he had a tough fight with Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? So, he likes going over into enemy territory. That's something that Errol Spence Jr. loves. He loves going into enemy territory. And he likes, and I think he said that too. He said he want to quiet the Australian people. He want to go over there and kick all their kangaroos, what I'm saying, in the head. You know what I'm saying? And I hope he does it, man, because I'm gonna be cheering for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a EJ fan, and I'm gonna be right behind him. It win or lose, you know what I'm saying? I think that Tim Zoo really think he really think he gonna destroy EJ because he think he got him a wounded rabbit, right? He think he got him a wounded rabbit, right? So he's gonna be coming out there and he's gonna have that confidence where he thinks that EJ, what I'm saying, is not himself, right? And so he's going to try to take advantage of that. He loved taking advantage because, when he fought Tony Harris, and Tony Harris, he didn't look like Tony Harris. He didn't look like the Tony Harris that fought Jamil Charlo. He didn't look like the Tony Harris that fought Jamil Charlo, right? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was going to be a hell of a fight, but you could tell that Tony Harris wasn't the same, right? So he like these legends that's kind of done deteriorated. You know what I'm saying? Over time, he like fighting that. He's in his lane right now. This is Tim Zoo niche right now. Fighting the old legend that deteriorated some. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's gonna backfire on him with EJ. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna backfire on him. You know what I'm saying? But anybody got thoughts, views? What do you think? What I'm saying, of this Shakur situation? I am opening up the panel for anybody who wants to come up and give me your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Do anybody disagree? You know what I'm saying, with what I've said about Shakur? You know what I'm saying? Now is your time to hit the link. You know what I'm saying? This is an open panel, you know. Cause y'all gonna have me talk my ass up here goddamn 3 hours. Anybody want to talk about Shakur? Give me your thoughts. Anything that what I'm saying that you believe. What this is all about. Why is Keyshawn being pushed the way he's being pushed? You know what I'm saying? What is really going on in what is the state of boxing right now at the 140 and the 147 division? You know what I'm saying? Anybody. He says, so Adam says, if I'm gonna fight him, I'm making Shakur come to me. He said, do you want to fight or do you want to play? Do you want to play jump jump back all day? You know what I'm saying? That's the way he fights, Adam. He negotiates the way he fights. You know, he jumps back. See, he fake a punch. He jumps back, then he springs forward. That's how he negotiates. That's kind of how he moves in life. You know, so it really shouldn't surprise you. He's kind of what they call it. He's wishy washy. He's wishy washy because all this time he said that Shakur said that they haven't been negotiating. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why is that so important, bro? Why is it so important that you make Devin Haney and Bill look bad? Why is that so important? Because you're not gonna fight him. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just don't get the whole social media thing. It's either you're gonna fight him or you're not gonna fight him, right? You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to act like you want to fight him and you do not want to fight him. And I think that's the whole frustration that people have with Shakur. You know what I'm saying? We already see that you don't have the will to fight there. You keep coming up with too much shit. You just keep coming up with too much shit, bro. And then you got this whole sneaky shit like you in high school with Keyshawn, you know what I'm saying? The way you interact with Keyshawn, the way you interact with your little minions, you know. She's got all these minions and friends and shit. Richard Hitchison is trash, bro. I'm just gonna tell you, I don't even know why they let him in the group. When he ducked Oscar Duarte, I was like, bro, that should have been your meal ticket. Oscar Duarte ain't got no feet. You could have he hit hard as a motherfucker, but Richardson Hitchens could have boxed him all day long, and you ducked him, man. And then you went to Zuffa boxing. I don't know what the hell Zuffa boxing was thinking when they got Richardson Hitchens. I don't even know why they let him part of the group. They say he's sorry in sparring too. They say he don't even want to spar certain people. So it's just kind of interesting, man. That the New Day fighter, they are so they're so soft. They're so selective. They're so worried about their image. You know, they're so worried about being embarrassed what other people are going to think of them, and it makes them sorry boxers, bro. Makes them sorry boxers. I don't even want to see nothing about Richardson Hitchens. And I think Richardson started out in the Mayweather camp, you know, and they put him on the shelf because he pussy punk ass, you know. Can he box? Yeah, he can box, but he's just missing a lot of stuff, man. He just don't have the grit. He don't have the intestinal fortitude, saying to make it to that next level, to make it to that next level. And I just don't know, man. It's like, why can't these guys just you know get these fights done? Everybody want a big payday. I understand that. It's okay, but at least, call out each other. At least tell each other, hey man, say I want you next. If we could get this fight done, saying this is the way we're gonna do it. This is what I'm looking for. This is how much I'm looking for. What I'm saying? I'll meet you over here. What I'm saying? We'll fight for my belt. We'll fight for your belt. It used to be like that. It used to be like that. If somebody called your ass out, shit, you was trying to get them on the phone. How can we get this fight done? Now it's almost like it's like trying to get in contact with a dignitary or something. He says, where you go? What's going on, Jay? What I'm saying? Let me get your ass up here because I want to hear what you got to say about Shakur and what you think that's going on. Because I'm out of ideas, bro. I'm out of ideas. Him supposed to be the number one, the top elite fighter in the world, acting like this. What I'm saying? So tell me what you think, Jay. We've been trying to get you up here for a minute because it ain't too many Shakur fans that be coming up here really siding for Shakur. So there's the link. Uh, I know you got a logical mind, so I know you're not just a fanboy. So I want to hear what you think, Jay. So what up, Pools? I'm hopping on and say, okay. So that's what it is, man. It's like shit. Devin is really, out of options when it comes to, because if he put it this way, if he signed for Zuffa right now, if he signed for Zuffa, then he's going to be locked out of that WBO championship. They're going to strip him. We all know this, you know. So, he goes over to Zuffa. All he got is Shakur Stevenson because if he signed to Zuffa and Shakur signed to Zuffa, I mean, who else are they going to put on besides Dev and Shakur, right? And so now you got Keyshawn saying that Devin Haney is ducking him, that he'd rather drop the belt than fight him. Man, boy, are you crazy? Are you on crack? Is Keyshawn Davis on crack? Bro, you ain't nobody to duck. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nobody to duck. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you look pretty good fighting Jermaine Ortiz. You look pretty good. You was okay out there. You know what I'm saying? But, Jermaine Ortiz is not he's not Floyd Mayweather, bro. He's not Bud Crawford. He's not, he's not a top name, bro. He's just a guy that's coming from the junior league to the varsity. That's it. And he looks pretty good. He can hit. You know what I'm saying? He got good moves in the ring, but man, he still got to prove himself. We giving people the crown before they prove themselves. Shit, I don't think Jerron Booth Ennis got this much goddamn hype behind him. You know what I'm saying? When he came up, well, actually he did, because a lot of people thought he was going to beat Crawford. A lot of people thought he was going to beat Earl Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? And they wanted Earl Spence Jr. to fight Jerron Booth Ennis because he was the IBF #1 contender, right? So they did want Jerron Booth Ennis to fight Spence. But of course, people was like, man, get the hell up out of here. It's like, man, don't you know we got one of the biggest fights in boxing history brewing, and who the hell are you? Much respect to Jerron Booth Ennis. I respect him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a fan of Jerron Booth Ennis. But when it comes to fighters that got prior business to resolve, that's what I want to see. Like I want to see Devin Shakur, right? That's who I want to see. But if he got to fight Keyshawn and keep his belt, I would like for him to keep his belt as a champion because he worked hard for it. He overcame a lot. When he beat Brian Norman Jr., he overcame, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that last fight with Ramirez didn't look too good. And he proved that he came out and reclaimed, his spot. You know what I'm saying? He showed that he got heart, and he showed that he could come back from a devastating loss in Ryan Garcia. So that was cool, right? So, but we got to see Shakur go through some shit like this. Now, I ain't saying he got to get beat, but I want to see him come through some adversity. I want to see him. I want to see what he looked like when he's really challenged, when his backup is up against the wall. And do we have that grit? Do we got that dog? You know what I'm saying? To be able to get hit, you know what I'm saying, get hurt, and then come back. We seen it with Floyd, we seen it with Roy, we seen it with Bernard Hopkins, we seen it with all of the greats. But if your name is going to be mentioned with those dudes, you know what I'm saying, we got to see something. You got to show us something. And Shakur, he don't want to show nobody shit. You know what I'm saying? He said he don't care about what we say. He don't care about what we think. You know what I'm saying? He just want to do what the hell he want to do. Well, it don't work like that, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like LeBron, saying calling himself the GOAT. He's calling himself the GOAT. You say, bro, Pete, you don't call yourself the GOAT. Other people call you the GOAT. Your teammates call you the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? The fans call you the GOAT. But you up in here calling yourself the GOAT, bro. And you don't even play no defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. You flopping all over the court. You know what I'm saying? And right now, Shakur is flopping all over the court right now. He's flopping over the ring. He don't seem like he's the fighter we thought he was. He don't seem to have that mental toughness just to say, I'm the best and I'm going to come up to your weight class and prove to you that I'm better than you. And that's the kind of Shakur Stevenson I wanted to see. I got better skills than you. You know what I'm saying? I can outmaneuver you. I can outthink you. That's the Shakur. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was kind of like Crawford, and really he's just not, bro. He just don't have it. He ain't like that. Everybody thought that Shakur Stevenson was different. And look, I see the skills. I mean, I see everything y'all see, but y'all ain't looking at the other side of this shit, man. He's moving way too scary. For a guy with the hands he got in the ring, the training and the pedigree that he's got. He's a silver medal Olympian. Shit. I mean, look, he beat the hell out of Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? He should have built off that. Now he's just letting it all just kind of crumble. Come on, he want to sit on that victory, just like when Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko. When he beat Lomachenko, he sat on that goddamn victory forever, like he was the king of 135. Nobody could get close to him. He put Devin down every time Devin tried to come up to fight him. He made it so he bragged that they were freezing him out. I thought that was crazy. I said, man, now we see why he froze Devin out. What I'm saying? Now we see why. That should have been Devin victory a long time ago, with Teofimo Lopez, because, he just wouldn't open himself up to it. So we got to get away from that. So all these fighters fight each other. You know, that's what I'm looking at. We're looking at how they moving, bro. And they're just not moving the way, champions should move, right? So how long is Shakur going to sit on this victory before he picks somebody like Gary Antoine Russell or somebody who's, really want to smoke, really think that they're on Shakur level? Now I don't know if Shakur is leagues above these guys. I really don't. What I'm saying? Because he only wants certain fights. He's trying to pick out the trash. He's trying to pick out the trash so he can get an easy payday, right? And Conor Ben, he's going to probably lose to Ryan Garcia. So, if he pick Conor Ben after that, that's going to be ugly, bro. If you try to pick Conor Ben after that, he definitely, and I'm telling everybody right now, he's not going back down to 135. He's not doing it. Even though he called himself that, he may pull O'Shaquie Foster up to 140. He might do that. He might do that, but it depends. Let me see if I can get this sparring. Let me see if I can show you guys the sparring. Bullshit. Let's see, because I had it queued up. Let's see. Let me see. The O'Shaquie Foster sparring. Let me see. Just bear with me for a second. Let me see. I got to get this thing queued up. Let me see. Let's see. Share screen. Okay. And O'Shaquie Foster sparring. Okay. Now here's the sparring. Hope y'all guys can see that. I don't know why it's so damn blurry. Let me see. Can y'all see that? Let's see. I got to take that down. Hold on. Let me take this picture down. There it is. Okay, here's the sparring. Okay. Now this is fair use. Fair use. Don't want to get no copyright strike. This is fair use. So this is O'Shaquie Foster and Shakur Stevenson. This is the sparring that they're talking about.
Is the more you gonna feel me, bro. So right now,
So let me take that off. This is the sparring. This is over on our key boxing. Now he showed a little bit of the sparring. So this is Shakur Stevenson and O'Shaquie Foster going at it. This is fair use. Let me see. Hold on for a second. All right, I guess that's all the footage that they got on it. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back to it. So you see Shakur, he's the one in the black. Saying he's the one in the black. I guess O'Shaquie is the one with the shirt off. Let's see. Let's see. It's kind of blurry. You can't hardly tell. Let's see. Let's see. How is this going? Good. That's all they got on it. That's all they got. I really couldn't hardly tell. What I'm saying? I really couldn't hardly tell you the truth. I really couldn't hardly tell from that. But from what they're saying that O'Shaquie Foster was telling the truth. That's all I see on it. Well, I mean, I really couldn't tell you the truth. But here, saying he said the first time I sparred Shock, he did good. He said I got tired. You know, it says Shakur Stevenson finally admits that Foster got the better of him in sparring. Shakur claims that Foster only got the better of him in one of their sessions, but he previously denied that Shaki got the better of him at all. So either he was lying or he's lying now, maybe even both. Shakur says that the reason why Shaki got the better of him is because he stayed up late with his girlfriend and the gym was hot. So he ended up gassing out and him getting tired. So, basically, Shakur Stevenson be lying like a motherfucker. He really do. Yeah, it's just sparring. You're right. He said that was Keyshawn and Cool. What I'm saying? Well, they were saying that that was Shakur. Looked like it was Shakur in there with the black on, and then Keyshawn was in there. What I'm saying? So it looked like both of them. But they don't even mention the Keyshawn sparring. They don't even mention that. So I don't know how that went. But you saw Shakur in the black, but it wasn't enough to really tell you the truth. But Shakur himself said he got the better of him in one session. So, but you don't know how far to take that shit because you can't believe a goddamn thing that Shakur Stevenson say. And like you said, it was sparring. What I'm saying? I don't really read much into it, but what makes it important is that old Shaggy Foster said that he got the better of him. And then, Shakur Stevenson denied the shit. So that's what makes it important. Not the sparring part, but just who's telling the fucking truth. Who's got integrity and who don't. You know? He says, yeah, I couldn't either. But Shakur said it himself though, Darkin. What I'm saying? Hold on. Shakur said it himself that he gassed out. He said that he gassed out. So this coming out of Shakur Stevenson's mouth, right? So it had to be more to it. He says Poole couldn't really gauge nothing from this footage. These dudes all need to get in the ring and box in front of the world like pros. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But why deny if somebody, what I'm saying, got the better of you in sparring? It just shows me that Shakur is a man that's kind of got more integrity than Shakur, right? And so I know Shakur thinks that Oshaki is beneath him, right? Because he thinks he's a bigger star and everything. And that's true, really, because Shakur is a bigger name than Oshaki Foster. But Oshaki Foster is hungry and he wants that fight. He's 32 years old and he needs to get a big fight, right? So he's coming. So he's coming at Shakur, and he's willing to get in the ring, right? Shakur did meet the man after his fight, right, with his protege Ray Ford, right? What he said, if he fight Ray Ford, he'll give him a fight. So Shakur got to do his part now. Now I don't think. Do I think that Oshaki could beat Shakur? I don't know about that. Because he's coming up two weight classes, and that's a big thing. What I'm saying? So Shaki could be biting off more than he can chew. What I'm saying? But I would like to see it. I would like to see it. I wouldn't penalize Shakur, I'm saying, for fighting Oshaki Foster because I just want to see that fight. I don't know if Oshaki got what it takes to beat Shakur. I know he's a smart fighter, but the two weight classes with a fighter like Shakur, I don't know. What I'm saying? I don't know. What I'm saying? That'll be a good one. What I'm saying? But I would like to see it though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would like to see it. But I think Oshaki, what I'm saying, coming up two weight classes, that's kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot. And I think Shakur can deal with that mentally. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But Shakur know what he's getting into because he sparred the guy. So he already knows what time it is. Yeah, what yeah. Where is let's see. He said Keyshawn. He said that was Keyshawn yeah. What I'm saying? So, but nobody mentions, how Keyshawn did in the sparring. Nobody mentioned that at all. So even Keyshawn, I mean, I haven't heard him say anything about his sparring with Oshaki Foster. I didn't hear anything about it. So, it must have been pretty good work. What I'm saying? And you know, this is what it is. So, I'm still waiting on you, Josh, because you are the Shakur fan. You know, my bad. So yeah, so yeah, that's I mean, we could do a poll or whatever and see, who wants to see Keyshawn or who wants to see Shakur. How many people want to see the Shakur Stevenson fight over the Keyshawn, over Keyshawn Davis? I don't think the Shakur Stevenson fight is going to be viable. All right. Sorry about that. My internet kind of went out. So so I want to hear your thoughts. What I'm saying? Why do you want to see the Keyshawn Davis fight, or why do you want to see the Shakur fight? Which fight do you want to see first? What I'm saying? And I've been on here an hour and a half telling you what I believe. I want to hear what y'all believe. There's the link. What I'm saying? Let's open up the panel and see, what other people think. What I'm saying? Because I've been running my mouth for a damn hour and a half. What do you guys think? There go Jay. Okay. You got to connect your audio. There you go.
Give me just
You
a
know,
second, bro. Give me like 2 seconds.
that's okay. Go right ahead. Take your time, bro. You know, shit. I got to get me some damn water. I've been talking so damn long. Let's see. Get me some water. Okay, we'll be right back. All right. So, all right. So, you there, Jay? Well, other interesting news that we got going on, of course, we got David Benavidez, man. Of course, you got the Better BL fight, the Arthur Better B fight. That's look like it's going to produce itself, because Better B, he been talking a lot of shit. He been saying that David took Gilberto Zerto Ramirez, what I'm saying, like they were supposed to had been in negotiations to fight, but he took the Yardi fight and he took the Gilberto Zerto fight, right? um, over him. They said, but man, you wasn't ready yet because you was looking for that big fight from Turk Al Sheikh, right? Y'all thought y'all was gonna get a third fight and y'all was gonna get big money for a third fight. Bivol even dropped his goddamn WBC belt, thinking that he was gonna get a third fight and funded by the Turk, right? He thought he was gonna get that fight for big money, and so it fell through. And so, David ended up getting a WBC belt out of it. You know what I'm saying? But now, you know what I'm saying, better Arthur Beterbiev is looking toward that David Benavidez fight. That's going to be a good ass fight. I ain't finna lie to you. That's going to be a good ass fight because Beterbiev is probably the more dangerous fighter. You know, when it comes to Bivol, you know what I'm saying? Bivol is a dangerous fight, but he just had back surgery. And you know what I'm saying, he's been through, you know, some injuries and stuff like that. But Arthur Beterbiev, you know what I'm saying, that's a monster, bro. You got a monster versus a monster. And I think that shit is gonna be a great clash. You know, that's gonna be David's biggest test at 175. You know, I'm all for it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if David would have punked out of that, then you know, it just I don't think David got no punk in him. So you know, I'm happy that David, you know what I'm saying, is accepting that challenge. And I think David, he's the one fighter. He's that one old school fighter that's going to take on the challenges that's presented before him, right? And Better Beef, we already know that, you know, he ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? He already got the accolades. You know what I'm saying? He's already fought the best fighter at 175 before David got there. And I do think that David Benavidez is the best 175 pounder right now because he's young, he's strong, he's fast. He's going to have the speed over Beterbiev. Beterbiev, it's going to be hard to hurt Beterbiev. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just like a little tank. He's like a big ass tank. You know, I call them wood choppers. You know what I'm saying? Because all those foreign dudes that come from over there, man, they just, you know, they like trees, bro. They just strong trees, man. They you know they just tough ass Europeans and shit. Not Europeans, but whatever he is, Russian, whatever the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? I think Beterbiev is gonna really test David. He's gonna test David ass, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be fight of the year right there. That Better Beef and David Benavidez fight, that's going to be hell, bro. That's going to be a war of attrition, especially with David fighting in the pocket the way he does. That's going to be a hell of a fight, you know. What? So what's going on,
Uh,
Jay? What's happening?
what's going
What's
on,
popping?
man?
Well,
Man,
you see the
shit.
you
Go
woke
ahead,
up
go
to a
ahead.
shit. You woke up into a shit storm, you know. You know, your boy Shakur, you know what I'm saying? He turned it down to fight. You know what I'm saying? He done told Keyshawn that he wasn't gonna fight David, you know what I'm saying, before everything, you know what I'm saying, broke loose. You know, what are your thoughts on all of this shit, man? What is this? What is Shakur
Man.
doing?
All right, so first I'm gonna say this. Like, I feel like Shakur gotta fight Devin next. Like, if they really trying to make this fight with Shakur like they saying they is, and I'm gonna give Devin the benefit of the doubt because Devin has always been a fighter that has, seek the best fights. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they actually are trying to make the fight happen. So me as a
Hmm.
Shakur fan, Shakur got it, he got what he wanted. He got the 144 pounds, so he got to take the fight next.
So
So let me tell you what I.
what about the rehydration clause that I'm hearing that's supposed to be imposed on this? You know, we don't even know the details on it. Is it 10 pounds? Is it, 20, 15 pounds, you know what I'm saying, that he can rehydrate to? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I thought
What
I thought that it was 144 no rehydration. I thought that
well,
was the
we're
deal.
hearing.
It was either Shakur go up to 147 and it's a rehydration, and if he go to 144, it's no rehydration.
Mm-mm.
That's what I thought. I mean, unless y'all, you know what I mean, unless something different going on
Well,
that I
blue
don't know nothing
blood,
about. But
well, the source is blue blood. He came out and said that now they're talking about the catch weight, and then they're talking about rehydration clause. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, mm, if that's the case, it look like Shakur is putting up barriers, bro, for Dev to
I
turn the
don't
fight
think that.
down.
I don't know
Mm,
that to be true. I mean, if it is, then that I ain't respecting that because I mean
right.
I feel like 144 is fair. If Shakur trying to do that, he on some bullshit. That's just flat out. But I don't think that's true. I think, man, Blue, he won't Shakur to take this fight at 147, and he kind of pissed off
Hmm.
about the fact that that Devin is conceding and coming to 144. So he just saying whatever, man. I don't think that's the case. But if I'm wrong, I mean, I stand on it, and as a
Well,
Shakur fan, I'm not fucking with that. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right.
so let me just give you my overall take about the whole situation. I feel
Okay.
like I said, first off, I'm gonna say Shakur has to fight Devin Haney next. Devin Haney conceded to the 144. Now you can't. It ain't no way, nowhere you can go. So you got to take this fight, unless Devin Haney decides to back out of the fight. Shakur cannot back out of this fight to me. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
but let me tell you what I actually think is going on.
Okay.
What I think is actually going on is I think both of them dudes, Shakur and Devin, both got offered Zuffa contracts.
Right.
Because if y'all remember, this Zuffa and Shakur and Devin deal has been circulating for at least a couple months now. Nothing
Yeah.
has came up, nothing has became official, but it's like the rumors been going on for a couple months. This is what I personally think. I think Devin came to them and said, I mean, Zuffa came to them and said, we got these contracts for y'all, but y'all have to agree on a fight in order for y'all to get the contracts. You know what I mean? Like that's part of for them to sign for whatever amount, this 100 million that Devin, that Bill and them are saying that they got. I think that the majority of where that money is going to come from is from them fighting each other. So I think the first step into getting that deal done was for them to agree to fight each other. And so now I think that what's happened is, they both understood like what was in play. I think Shakur would have walked away from the fight if Devin decided and the deal. If Devin didn't decide to come to 144. But I think that Devin, being who he is, and the money that was at stake, he was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'll go to the
Mm-hmm.
144, and take the fight. So that's why I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Shakur has to take the fight. So I feel like that's the play with the whole. I feel like a lot of this that's going on, the back and forth, is just hype.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to hype the fight up, keep it buzzing. I think that they
Yeah.
both, once they went on there and decided that they was gonna do it at 144, told the public everything. I think everything else is just to keep us talking. You know what I mean? Like
So
the
even
go ahead.
even with Shakur saying no to the fight, you think that's just kind of like hype or whatever to keep the fans, pissed off and keep them interested. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I
Keep
don't.
people
When did he
talking.
say no? Last I heard, he said yeah.
Well, I'm hearing that he's rejecting. I mean, you got stories out now that he's rejecting the deal. Even Keyshawn is saying that uh, Shakur said that he wasn't going to fight there. So I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it. Um,
The the
what's the
last thing
real?
that I
What's
seen on the last thing I seen on Shakur's Instagram was him accepting the fight at 140. I mean, Devin said that if I come to 144, do we have a fight? Shakur said yes. I did see the tweet. Devin came out and said, well, 144 and you still don't want to fight or whatever he said, something like that. And
right?
then Shakur came back and was saying basically like that ain't how you negotiate. Like you don't negotiate online, all this kind of stuff. So I don't think, from what I know, that he's turned the fight down yet. I think
I'm
that every
hearing.
that go
Well,
ahead.
it's a lot of these content creators got inside information, and then you got Keyshawn running his mouth. Saying that he said that Shakur said that he wasn't going to fight there. So you don't know what to believe. You know what I'm saying? You really don't. But with the way Shakur is moving, like he don't want to fight, that's very disappointing. Because we look at Shakur, you look at Shakur, no matter what you think of Shakur, he is probably the top technical fighter, probably the best boxer I've seen, what I'm saying, up at these weight classes. So you don't want him to have this kind of apprehensive type of mentality where you want him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you, Dev. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm better than you. You want that
Right,
kind of energy going on. You know what I'm saying? Because you do kind of think that. I mean, if you look at their styles, you know what I'm saying. You look at you say, okay, Shakur got more control of his style or stuff. I say he has a better style than Dev, but it's more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? Because Devin got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of toughness. He got a lot of size. So you just don't know how it's going to play out. And he's got great feet. So that's why people want to see this matchup because you just don't know. It seemed like a 50-50 skill type of matchup. So you just don't want Shakur Stevenson to have this pussy punk ass mentality like he don't want to fight. We want to see him like Crawford. We want to see him like, have that, I'm coming to beat you, right? Type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of all this, mhm.
Well, that's my thing though. Like my thing is like once the 144 came, once Devin agreed to the 144 and Shakur said yes, I believe that all the extra stuff behind what everybody's saying, fans, I feel like right now, fans just realize that this fight can be made if both of these
Mhm.
fighters agree on the fight. And the fact that it's not happening right away, and it's a lot of bullshit that's going on online that's making everybody get impatient. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
like as soon as they said yes, we wanted the fight to be signed the next day. You know what I mean?
Well,
So it's like,
well, it
go
ain't
ahead.
it ain't even just it's just that we've been dealing with this who's the best out of Shakur and Devin since 135. We've been dealing with this shit for some years, and we just kind of the impatient part. It was kind of like you remember the Spence Bud build up. We just want to
Right,
see the fight, bro. You know what I'm saying? We didn't care
right.
how long. As long as we knew these niggas was locked in, it's good. See, and then he got the old Shocky Foster sparring shit on the other end, right? Where
Right.
he kind of lied about and he comes clean and says, yeah, he got the better of me in one session, which is no big deal. But why lie about it? You know what I'm saying? You Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? You this is just sparring. Why you lie about the shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody look at Shakur Stevenson like he levels above Oshaki Foster. You know what I'm saying? So sparring ain't shit. Why lie about it? And Oshaki Foster, of course, he's gonna try to clout chase. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the sparring, because he got the better of him or whatever. Of course, he's gonna
And,
mention that.
and right. And
Hmm.
see, that's where I feel like why Shakur lied about it because ain't it's normally a thing that you don't talk about what happens in sparring. And
Right.
then Oshaki Foster speaking on what happened in sparring and making me look bad while you doing it, it's strictly just for clout, just to get his name
Right.
buzzing, just to try to capitalize off of Shakur's name.
I
So
agree with that.
Shakur shut it down just to not give him that. I don't think that it was necessarily him trying to lie about it, as in trying to make it
Shit.
seem like can't nobody get off on him. I think it was more so not trying to let Oshaki Foster succeed at what his goal was and saying what he said, if that makes
Yeah, but don't you
sense.
but don't you think it looked even worse when you have to come back yourself and say, yeah, he did get off on me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he did. I was tired. I was over to my girlfriend's house. All this shit. It makes you look bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you start a lie, then you have to, you forget the lie that you told to cover up that lie, and it just looks bad. It just looks bad.
But
Why not just be honest? Hey, it's sparring, it's practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know what I'm saying? Hey, hey, he won inspiring. That's not a real fight. That's all he had to say. You know,
what to
instead of
me, I didn't
go ahead.
I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like when he said on the interview that Oshaki did get the better of him in the session or whatever. I just looked at it like he was just like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna just tell. We got in the ring. We said what we said. We had this whole back and forth about this sparring for a couple years. Now I'm gonna just tell y'all the truth. Since now the public got this dude on this pedestal, I'm gonna just tell y'all what really happened.
Well,
That's
you
the
don't
way
think
I looked at it.
well, you ain't look. What about with the sparring coming out? You know what I'm saying? And they seeing
I didn't see the
from
sparring. The sparring came out.
well, I just saw like a little piece of it. I really couldn't tell you the truth. I just showed it, under fair use. But you really can't tell because it's so short. Um,
Oh shit!
saying, but
I didn't see no sparring in there.
from what people saying, I don't know if there's an extended version, but from what people saying, yeah, he got off on the man, but like I said, it's practice, right?
Right.
But that's not the point. The point is that Oshaki Foster was telling the truth, and then Shakur ended up having to, go back and expose the lie that he told. And that just looks bad, what I'm saying, because he didn't have to lie. People already look at Shakur Stevenson like he's the best boxer. Excuse me. They already look at Shakur like he's better than O'Shaquie Foster, right? They already look at him like he's the top dog,
Right.
especially with that performance he had with Teofimo. I thought that was a masterpiece, by the way. I thought that was a masterpiece. I was so happy that he exposed Teo. He's been a thorn in my side like since 135. He's been just I always hated that dude. You know what I'm saying? And Shakur beat him up real nice. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want to see Shakur continue to be that guy. I
Yeah.
wanted the Shakur that beat up Herring. That's the dude I want to see. You know what I'm saying? In the
Right.
ring against Los Santos, I want him to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? That goes in there and perfect his art, his aggression that he had against Herring, the aggression he had against Teofimo Lopez. That's the Shakur that I have in my head when I think of him fighting Devin. And that's the version of a Shakur I want to see, not the
I
Williams Cepeda shit. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say I do think that that's the Shakur you gonna get if him and Devin fight. I think the thing about Shakur is he really looks at these guys' style and what type of fighter they are, and boxers that and I know people don't like it. I'm okay with it because I understand that you're not gonna beat every opponent the same way. And I think he really just look at it and break it down like, in order for me to beat this skilled counterpuncher, I'm gonna have to outpoint them and I'm gonna have to stay out of danger. And I know people don't want to hear that, and it might not be for everybody. That might turn a lot of people
Right.
off on Shakur. But that don't turn me off on him. Pause. I look at it just like I said, any other sport. If you look at a football game and you see a team, you might be a passing team. And then you look at this defense that you're playing against, and they horrible at the run. So you run the ball the whole game. You get the win.
No,
I'm okay with
I,
that.
I understand that. I understand that, but it limits the scope of what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Like that means, he's not in control. He's fighting a certain way to limit what to nullify what they're doing. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Even Mayweather did that, but he had more tools to be offensive, even when he was being defensive. His offensive defense transition was so beautiful.
Right,
It just looks bad when Shakur just go all full defense. You know what I'm saying? And he limits his punch output. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of like waiting out the time, and he just kind of outscoring, just doing like an amateur type of fighting style. We in the
right,
pros, bro. You got to put some pain on, just like he did with Teofimo Lopez. He put the pain. He broke him down. He took his time, broke him down, slowed him down, and he just started picking them apart. You know what I'm saying? That
right.
should be the Shakur that we see. He don't have to go in there and just throw uh, combination after combination. He can still do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Break them down, point them. But at some point, you're gonna have to step to him. You know what I'm saying? At some
Right.
point, to give the fans what they want. Because he's not a small guy now. Now he's an entertainer. Now
Yeah.
he's that dude. He got a name. So now he's gonna have to step to a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he got to go all out brawling and shit, but he's been boxing for a while now. And
Yeah.
they've been trying to put that boring jacket on him for a long time. ESPN did a terrible job, what I'm saying, calling him boring, watching the people, walk out of the stadium on him and shit. I thought that shit was horrendous. But
Yeah.
I enjoy his technical style. What I'm saying? It's just that, he's starting to get this stigma on him where he don't want to fight certain fights. It's starting to see a pattern with him and Devin Haney. Um, what you think it is? Do you think
Well,
I don't think he's scared of Devin, but for some reason he's very apprehensive when it comes to the Devin Haney. Even in the negotiations, he's trying to make it look like they capping. And it's like we already know Devin want to fight you, bro. Devin don't have that many options.
right. And I mean, yeah, I
Because
agree
what
with you.
we gonna
That's why.
what we gonna look at Dev if he get in the ring with somebody less than Shakur Stevenson, or now Keyshawn. Now he's got Keyshawn. Really, Keyshawn Davis is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because he's really hyping himself up to be an option for Devin. Because Devin, who he's going to choose? Somebody up at 154. Who we really want to see him fight besides Ryan Garcia at 147? You know what I'm saying? If he can't get Ryan, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to fight Keyshawn Davis any goddamn way. You know?
Hey, and that's
Who
the
else?
thing. Like, I feel like everybody right now, because Devin and Bill, they doing a great job when it comes to uh when it comes to just public perception. They doing a thing. But the thing about it is, this is the part that we don't know for sure, Pool, is if Devin and Bill are really trying to make this fight. And like I said, before I even started, I'm going to give Devin and Bill the benefit of the doubt to say that they're not lying just because of their track record. But we don't know yet until these dudes sign another fight or make whatever move that they going to make next. We don't know what's true. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say that just like I said, Shakur has to fight Devin Haney next. If Shakur comes out to be really a duck, now Devin actually has to fight Keyshawn next. So Devin is in a place to where he got to fight one of these two dudes. Shakur has
Right.
to step up to the plate and fight Devin. But if he don't, Devin has to fight Keyshawn, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's putting Devin put himself in a position to where it's like he really ain't got nowhere to go. But I think Devin okay with it because I know Devin a gangster. He gonna step up, he gonna fight, he gonna do what he gotta do. But like I was saying, just my whole uh thoughts behind all this. I'm gonna just tell you the whole play of what I really think is going on, Pool. So just follow.
Hmm.
I think that these dudes got an offer from Zuffa. Zuffa's gonna put the money up for them to fight. I think, and then if I don't know if you know, but Zuffa don't even have a 140-pound division. They go from 135 straight to 140. I mean 47. They go from 135 straight to 147. So I think that whole 144 thing, that's a good look on Zuffa to say like y'all can kind of, be flexible when it comes to these weight classes because now we don't have this in between weight class. We don't have this junior weight class or whatever. So I think that whole 144 thing, but to me, I feel like that's perfectly fair. I don't think Devin, I do not think Devin is going to go into this fight drained. I know his fans don't want to believe that, but I don't believe that. And I'm not even just saying that from a Shakur, just because I'm a Shakur fan. I think Devin just got to 147. He's on his third weight class, and he's not that far removed from the weight class. And this is my thing. If Devin really is going to struggle at 147, I mean to make the weight at 144, then how are they not gonna? Then how are people not trying to give Shakur the benefit of the doubt when he's saying that Devin is bigger than him? You see what I'm saying? Because I know for sure Shakur can make 140. People don't want to give him the 135, but I know he can make 140 pretty comfortably. So if Devin is going to struggle to make anything under 147, then you got to acknowledge that he's the bigger fighter. You know what I mean? But people don't want to see that. But anyways,
Yeah.
so I think they got the Zuffa deal. I think they're gonna fight. I think what Jay Prince did being Shakur's manager and Keyshawn's manager now, I think Jay Prince already understood that Shakur and Devin are gonna fight. So he made sure that he did his part being Keyshawn's manager now and put Keyshawn in place to fight for that belt because when Shakur and Devin sign the Zuffa, Devin's gonna have to drop that belt. So that belt is gonna be in
Hmm.
the air and it's gonna be vacant for somebody to fight for it. And I think that Jay Prince just made sure that his fighter was in play to fight for the belt. Everything else
Okay.
outside of that, I think it's just bullshit. It's just hype, and they're trying to hype the fight up. I think when everything shakes out, that's exactly what we're going to get. We're going to get Shakur and Devin at 144. He's going to have to
As
drop the WBO belt on Zuffa. He's going to have to drop the WBO belt when he signs with Zuffa. So that belt is going to be vacant for Keyshawn to go fight for it. I think he's going to end up fighting Brian Norman to get a rematch for his belt back that he lost from
What's up?
Devin Haney, and he's going to have to fight Keyshawn for the belt.
Well, let me ask you this: who in the hell is Lewis Crocker? Because nobody in boxing is talking about Lewis Crocker. The IBF welterweight champion. Um,
Yeah,
out of all, we talk about Ryan Garcia, we talk about Rolly Romero, but one fighter that nobody is talking about is Lewis Crocker. Who the fuck is
yeah,
he? Who is he?
man.
It's
Nobody.
like nobody wants to fight this dude. Nobody's talking about this dude. It's like he's just dead weight. He's just a
Right,
title holder with a belt. I said nobody mentions Lewis Crocker fights. They're not talking about this dude is a bad motherfucker or nothing, man. It's like Lewis Crocker, who are you, bro? It's
right,
like, can you get in a conversation?
right.
And then I went and looked at his fights. I was not impressed. Was not
Yeah,
impressed by Lewis Crocker. I was like, bro, you just a free belt. You know what I'm saying? To collect. It's like I'm just surprised that at 147, a glamour division, we got a whole fighter there. We got a
yeah,
whole he won. I'm looking him up, and he's he won his title from an Irish boxer, Paddy Donovan. I'm like, bro, I never heard of that dude. I never heard of them.
yeah,
I'm like, what is going on, bro? What is happening to American boxing? It's like we got all these weird, Europeans coming in. Um, it's like, bro, nobody's talking about unifying with him. That'll be an easy belt for Ryan to get. Excuse me. That'll be an easy
yeah. I
belt
mean,
for Ryan.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
to
thought I
become.
thought that was going to be the play at 147. I thought Ryan and Devin was going to end up, getting another belt, and then they was going to fight for undisputed at 147. But I mean, shit. I guess now it's like everybody's, it's all about the big fights now. It's all about the names, and
Right.
that's a good thing. I ain't mad at it. I remember it was a time, a couple years ago where if it was a champion in the weight class, people wanted to fight him just to get the easy belt, or what
Because
they perceived to be an easy belt.
well, I'm just saying, man, I haven't seen him done nothing. I haven't seen him done nothing. I haven't seen nobody mention him. I haven't seen nobody who wanted to fight him. It's
Yeah,
it's almost like he just don't exist or
yeah,
something.
because he
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
move the needle. He don't move the needle. That's what it is. It's about they want to tie their name to the people that's gonna move the needle, that's gonna keep their name buzzing, and that's gonna build some hype so they can make some good money. Now Turkey is,
So,
putting the money out there. You got Zuffa trying to put some money out there, so they like shit. I want to fight the big fights where the money at.
so it says Crocker said, said Crocker might surprise us. Pool shit. I don't know about that, Donovan. I mean, I saw the guy fight. He just looked like a straight up and down, bruiser type dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's perfect for Shakur Stevenson. That's perfect for Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Somebody who just comes straight forward. That's kind of like a Conor Ben type of style. Um, you know what I'm saying? These guys are not going to do well up top against top boxers, technical boxers, right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I just can't wait to get his name eliminated and get somebody else more dangerous, with a belt, or at least somebody unify that belt and get his ass up out of here, because
yeah.
he just wasted space. I don't know, he just wasted space, but he's aggravating me because he got a belt. He's
Yeah, that's the
aggravating me
thing.
because
Like
he has
that,
a belt.
that let you know how bad the welterweight division really is. It ain't really nobody there. So
Well, that makes sense.
you got a
What you
couple, you
said,
got a couple fighters.
yeah, it makes sense what you say though, because the pressure that it's going to be on Dev to drop that belt, because if I know, if you and me, if we got $100 million, if it's that much, I mean, I really don't know, but if it's a big contract like that, I know I'm leaving. I'm dropping the belt to go over to Zuffa for
Yeah,
sure,
for
because
sure.
that's a damn retirement plan. Blair Cobb, oh my God, I don't even know what the hell happened to Blair Cobb. That nigga been kidnapped
Yeah,
by aliens and
right,
shit. You know what I'm saying? If they offered Shakur 60 million, bro, I'm gone. I'm
right.
gone. I don't care what the deal is. If that's, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure stipulations to break it down per fight, and they got to, fight so many fights per year. I'm pretty sure there's little stipulations in there. But you don't have to search for no venue. You don't have to search for no, what I'm saying? All you have to do is get the opponent and fight the fight. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone. So I could see Dev doing that. But all of this, you know, all of this confusion about, 144 catch weight, they don't have to do that, bro. Why not just be straight up with the people? Be like, hey man, we're going over to Zuffa boxing. I'm gonna drop this motherfucking belt. We're gonna go and set this fight up over on Zuffa boxing. I mean, I don't understand why it can't be that simple. Why it's got to be
Yeah,
all this intrigue, this secretive intrigue. Now you're looking at the fight as crazy.
and you
Now you
right
look.
about that. In a perfect world, I wish it was like that. But it just in the world we live in today, Pool, everything is about clicks and likes and views and everything and the buzz. If they just came out and told everybody exactly what was gonna happen, people wouldn't be doing what they doing right now. About this whole fiasco that they got going on.
I
It would
think
it
they
would
would get
just
even
be
more. Don't you think they would get even more publicity if they would have had to just promoted the fight at Zoo for boxing? You know what I'm saying? What's the big secret? Everybody already know that the contracts are out there. Why do we need all this extra shit? You know what I'm saying?
well.
Keyshawn, saying, go ahead, go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say, well, the thing about it is, you get the fight. We do this for 2 months. We're gonna get more people, possible eyes on the fight, or people knowing about the fight for the 2 months that we going, all the diehard fans going back and forth. And then when they actually sign the fight, you still gonna get that what you asking for. You know what I mean? So it's like double dipping.
Mm-hmm. Says
So,
Shakur says Zufi wants to sign without fighting Devin Haney. Okay. So, the Akibi on that shit, man. I have to give it to him, man. His journalism is
what do you
crazy.
say?
He says Shakur Stevenson tells Zufa he wants to sign without fighting Devin Haney next. You know. So I mean, I don't know what difference does that make it if Devin gonna sign with Zufa anyway. So, but if he does that, I guess he'll be forced to fight Keyshawn Davis. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to make a decision to drop the belt or fight Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that makes sense. If he go ahead and go into Zuffa boxing, he will have to make that decision. You know what I'm saying, to go ahead and fight Keyshawn before he makes his deal, right? So
Right.
that makes sense. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
that's what it's gonna come down to Devin Haney. That if Cause see, that's the thing about Devin's side of this, that everybody, we giving Devin the benefit of the doubt to say, he's actually trying to fight Shakur, but he really put himself in a position to where he can't really go nowhere, because you gotta, like, Shakur. If Shakur don't fight Devin, he's probably gonna have to fight Oshaki Foster, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but he's gonna smoke him. Like, it's not even gonna be a good fight. I mean, it might be, he might be competitive in some rounds, but he's gonna lose probably 9 rounds in that fight. And that's my opinion. So, but I feel like the point I'm trying to make is Devin's in a 50-50 fight either way it goes. Shakur's if he fight Devin, that's a 50-50 fight. And then if he fights Oshaki Foster, that's like a 70-30 fight. So I feel Devin put himself in a tougher position, but he's gonna have to make a choice whether he want to keep that WBO belt, that title, or he want to fight Shakur and get the money.
hmm what's
Because I
going
don't
on?
think he's gonna be able to keep both.
What's going on, bro? What's happening?
Hey, what's up? Hey, can y'all hear me good now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah,
My
yeah, we
bad.
can.
I'm at work right now. But nah, hey, salute to the panel, man. Full been listening for some years, man. This what I don't understand, bro. I'm listening to the brother. I'm a fan of all of these fighters, bro. Why is Devin in such this type of trick bag where if he don't fight Shakur, he gotta fight Keyshawn? Man, why don't Shakur gotta fight Keyshawn? Like, why are we just letting guys slide? You know what I'm saying? Because they talking about they brothers, but Devin, he got to fight everybody. It's weird.
They just
I
avenge.
mean,
They just avengers. You know, he's the lead. He's the head. He's the head of the Justice League. You know what I'm saying? You know, them his boys. You don't want to fight Keyshawn. That's his brother. You know,
yeah. I
that's his
mean,
Yeah,
brother.
I'm not mad at that. You know, I ain't mad at you for wanting that either. But I just don't think people really
if
understand. Like,
Keyshawn,
go ahead.
not to cut you off, bro, but if Keyshawn knocked Devin off, he knocked Devin off. All of these niggas trying to use Keyshawn, hoping he knocked Devin off, so he don't need to fight Shakur yet. Let's see what Keyshawn do. That's scary shit to me. That boy need to take the fight, bro, or he not the best. He ain't nothing like Bud or Ward. That's all I'm saying.
You talking about with Keyshawn or Devin?
I'm talking about Shakur, bro.
Right. You
Keyshawn
talking
is
Shakur need
irrelevant.
to take the fight with
Keyshawn,
Devin, or you
he
saying
need,
with Keyshawn?
with
It's
Devin, need to
yeah,
take the
yeah.
fight with Devin, or he's not the best. Uh, Shit. If he don't fight Keyshawn, he's not the best. Let's just keep it real. Like y'all can't go to the end of your careers talking about both of y'all the best, bro. Like I don't know. I don't mind if Keyshawn can knock Devin out. I got Devin schooling him. But if Keyshawn can knock Devin out, hey, give me a second. Yes. Huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. So I mean, let me speak on what he was just saying,
Yeah, go
Pool.
ahead, brother. Go ahead. My bad.
Nah, I was just gonna say, I agree with you. I do feel like Shakur got to fight Devin next. Like that's the fight. As a Shakur fan, I'm feeling like now you have no choice but to make this Devin Haney fight because Devin did his part. He said he was gonna come to the weight that you wanted. You got to accept that challenge. But the Keyshawn shit, like I ain't mad at him not wanting to fight Keyshawn because if he
No,
feels like
check
him and
this out.
Keyshawn,
Check this out. He never said that. And I don't mind Keyshawn fighting him first, bro. But, bro, like Bill said, got to get that shit on contract. I want your big brother, too. Because he was supposed to fight Shot, and now he's not. So, it's some bullshit, bro. Like, you got to get both of them on contract, or Shakur ain't going to do shit. He going to find another way. Oh, Devin didn't look good against Keyshawn, so I can't fight him. Like, man, sign the
Yes,
contract.
again.
Smoke. Oh, yeah, my bad. Hey, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
nah, I was just gonna say, like, I just wanted to speak on the Keyshawn part, Keyshawn and Shakur thing. Like because I don't feel like that they have to fight. I'm not thirsty for that fight. You know what I mean? If them dudes feel
Like the
like that they
best fighting the
brothers,
best? You
no,
like the best fighting the best?
I am for the best fighting the best, but you're not letting me get it off. This
Spence
what
and
I'm
Crawford
trying
should have
this
been brothers then, or we would have never got that
but
shit.
this what I'm saying though. Like when Earl Spence and Jamel Charlo was champions, nobody was like talking about them fighting
They
each
got
other.
the
I
same
mean,
trainer, bro. They have the same trainer.
but it don't matter though. If you talking the best
Let
fight
him
the best,
you know, hey, let
we
him
All right,
finish
seen
hey,
his thought.
my bad.
Let
All
him
right, my
finish.
bad.
we seen fighters have the same trainer and then somebody else go to another trainer just to make the fight. With Danny Jacobs and what's his name? The Russian dude. When they fought, that's what happened with them. So that's the thing. You can't make excuses just for certain things. You know what I mean? If you saying that the best need to fight the best, then we should have
Yeah,
been asking Earl Spence and Jamel Charlo to fight.
bro, they
You
were
know
at
what I
two
mean?
different weight classes. Bro, Jamel
Or
went
Jamel
undisputed
Charlo.
at 154. Spence was aiming for undisputed at 147.
I
He
mean,
had
I get
smoke
that,
with
bro.
Bud.
I get that, but the point I'm trying to make is that if
Let's
them
do
dudes
that.
feel like that their relationship,
Let's get JB up in here. You know, what's going on, JB? Long time no see, my brother. What's happening with you?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
All right, JB, what's happening, bro? What you got?
Oh yeah. Quick thing. As far as we got to look at the elephant in the room. And that's the WBO. The WBO has mandated that Devin Haney must fight Keyshawn Davis. All this other talk about fight Shakur, yeah, he can fight Shakur, but he going to have to drop the belt because the WBO, first of all, they don't recognize no catchweight fights. That's number one. The other section bodies, WBC, they'll recognize stuff like that, but the WBO don't recognize no 124-pound catchweight. So if that fight does transpire, it ain't gonna be for a belt. They're gonna have to drop that belt, and then Keyshawn gonna either get elevated or he'll fight somebody for the vacant belt. That's number one. So if you can't get the fight lined up with Shakur for whatever reason, Shakur don't want to take the fight, he ain't agreeing to the catch weight or whatever the reason, you need to take care of your mandatory and Keyshawn Davis because he's ordered by the WBO to be Devin Haney's next opponent if he wants to keep his belt. I think that's what people miss.
Right. And I agree with that. And that's why I was telling Poole and everybody that was listening just a second ago, I feel like that Jay and Devin and Bill and Shakur, they all knew what the play is. I feel like that they've been knowing what the play is and everything else is to keep us going. And Jay did exactly what he was supposed to do, being Keyshawn's manager, and got him in line for that belt because he already knew that Devin was about to drop it when he fights Shakur and go to Zuffa. You know what I mean? So I think that that's what the play is. That's just my own thinking, but we'll see how it all end up happening.
Yeah, because Bill Haney keep saying, I seen him on one interview saying that, asking Shakur, why don't you come up and fight me for the WBO welterweight title, at 144. I'm thinking like, nah, WBO, they don't sanction catch weights. And even at 147, the fight can't happen next. Not for the WBO belt. Like I said, the fight can happen, but he's going to have to drop the belt. Like you say, probably that's what Jay Prince is doing. He's setting it up where Keyshawn's going to be able to get a belt, at a welterweight. So maybe that is the case, but I think the more plausible plan is for Devin to fight him. I think that's the next best fight. If you can't get the Shakur fight, Devin versus Keyshawn, that's a great fight in its own right. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think that's actually a more fan-friendly fight than Devin versus Shakur. I think that'd be like a fight for the sweet science fans. That'll be a technical fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're a fan of the pure science, sweet science of boxing, you'll like that fight. But the casual boxing fan might not like that fight.
Right. I agree with that,
both
man.
of them are good fights. Both of them good fights.
Yeah.
But shit, all three of them should be good fights. That's what I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like to me, I'm kind of different when it comes to boxing. Like my whole thing is like, cause I think Shakur, that's the first fight that I want to see. I do feel like Devin and Keyshawn will be a more action packed fight, but I want to see Shakur versus Devin more just because the history. They both already Hall of Famers and all that, and that's another thing. People talking about Shakur stealing fights from Shakur stealing
Keyshawn.
fights from Keyshawn and all that. And it's like they're not even in the same class. You know what I mean? Like that, and then they were saying that about T.O. And it's like Shakur and T.O. came in boxing at the same time. They was moved by Top Rank together. They both, established themselves in boxing. That was Shakur's fight. I don't care about Keyshawn being in the weight class and all that. Like that was Shakur's fight. Devin is Shakur's fight. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, so I don't understand why people not looking at it like that. They just looking at it like, and that's the thing too. Like, Keyshawn been calling out Tank. Tank is also Shakur fight. Them dudes is all in the same era. Like, I feel like the Abdullah Masons and all them dudes, the Richardson Hitchens, them are Keyshawn's fights. He need to be worried about them dudes.
Nah,
So just trying to, make sure you mute your mic because there's a lot of feedback. People can't hear over, unless you're talking. You know what I'm saying? Just mute your mic. I got to mute my.
All right.
Yeah, Keyshawn, he's called out Abdullah Mason in the past. He called him out before the De Los Santos fight that didn't ever go down because of him missing weight. But, he called him out here recently when they had that launch press conference for the Zone and Top Rank coming together. He called him out again. But, again, they're in two different weight classes. Abdullah's at 135, just became a champion in the WBO, or defend his belt versus Joe Cordina. So he's building his profile. And I think, like I said, he's part of to me, Keyshawn Davis kind of like in that middle. He's a young guy, but he's a little bit older, though. He started late. I guess he went to the Olympics twice. So he's around about the same age as Devin Haney and Shakur. But his projection right now is along with Abdullah Mason as far as professional boxing. So it's kind of like in a catch-22 in that regard. Age-wise, he could be fighting those guys, but experience-wise, he's more on the level of Abdullah Mason or Ted Austin, people like that. But I don't mind a fighter being aggressive, wanting to make the fight happen. Because I think Keyshawn believes at the end of the day he's gonna be the number one guy, in and around those weight classes of 147, 140, 154. I think he's gonna be the man. But if he wants to achieve those goals, he's gonna picture that to see probably a guy like Shakur, a guy that he says is his brother that they say they're not gonna never fight. They probably might have to go through each other at the end of the day if they're the last two standing and find out who is the best, in and around those weight classes. Hello?
Yeah, what y'all think Keyshawn Davis' chances are of beating Devin Haney? I just want to hear a roundabout. I want to hear y'all thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think he got a shot, man. A lot of people saying, go ahead. Yeah.
My bad, G. I just say 50. I'm on mute. I say 50. He's good.
Mm-hmm. Jay?
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Keyshawn can fight, man. He kind of remind me of young Bud Crawford, man. He got a lot of attributes, man. He throws punches and bunches, combinations, got a good jab. He's very athletic. He goes to the body well. You don't give Devin a problem. Devin definitely going to have to be in his bag with the jab, staying at long range and controlling Keyshawn with the jab, hitting him with the 1-2. And when Keyshawn closes the distance, which he can do real quick, he's athletic like that, he's going to have to try to smother a lot of Keyshawn Davis's work. Try to grab, and try to slow that fight down. Maybe be a more methodical pace. I think if he's fought at a real faster pace, a more pace where they're throwing a lot of punches per round, that kind of favor Keyshawn. But if the rounds get slowed down, when it's not a lot of action, and it's just maybe 12, 13 punches landing per round, that probably favors Devin Haney. So it's going to be about pacing that fight. Devin Haney's got to slow that fight down. If he get caught up in what he got caught up in with Ryan Garcia, more in the pocket type of fight, that could be to his detriment versus a guy like Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
Jay,
Yeah, I
what you
agree with
think?
that. I think it's 50-50. I feel like Keyshawn got a real chance in that fight. I think that what it's gonna come down to is accuracy and strength. Because I feel like they both kind of overshoot their shots a lot and they both like to clinch. So whoever can be the stronger fighter in the clinch and get positioning on the other fighter and then be accurate with their punches, they probably gonna win the fight. And it's crazy because I actually feel like Keyshawn is a little bit more accurate, but Devin is a little bit stronger. So to me, it's 50-50.
And
Yeah.
y'all forgetting a whole big part of this, man.
And
And a big
experience.
part of it, yeah, the experience, bro. Devin done been through it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Keyshawn mentally, he's able to get up for the B-level fighters, right? He's able to look good against guys who don't have that mental fortitude against him. He can intimidate those guys through his athletic abilities and stuff like that. But, one thing about it, Devin got the feet, he got the experience, he's got the mindset, and he's not going to fold under any pressure that Keyshawn puts under him. You know what I'm saying? Because he done been in there against some of the best. He done been in there against the Vasily Lomachenkos. He done been in there against the Jorge Linares. He done been in there against some top guys. And I think that's going to come into play in this fight because when you got two fighters who are kind of equally in skill, you know what I'm saying? You could say, well, I'll give Keyshawn that he punching combinations, you know what I'm saying, that he does a lot of things better than Devin. But one thing Devin has is that killer mentality, bro. He's tough. He done been through adversity, which Keyshawn has not been through any adversity like that, right? So I think that's going to come back to that pressure, all the shit that he's talking, you know what I'm saying, about how he thinks Devin is only, he ain't that good. He only do certain things good. I think all that pressure is going to come on him in this fight to perform. And I think that's going to drain him, bro. I think it's going to drain him. Once he gets in the fight, it's going to come a time where he don't know what the hell to do. You know what I'm saying? He's going to fold under that pressure, and Devin is going to do what he always does. He's going to come in there with a game plan, and he's going to stick to that game plan, and he's going to beat Keyshawn Davis just because he ain't ready. I think Keyshawn is about 2 fights away from fighting a Devin Haney. Now, I could be wrong. But,
Yeah.
I think that experience in that big stage shit, it drains you, bro, when you don't know when to turn it on, when to turn it off. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be doing too much at one time, and he's going to get in there. He's going to gas the hell out. You know what I'm saying? And Devin's going to take it to him. You know what I'm saying? Either in the second half of the fight, you know what I'm saying? He's going to shine on him. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't have the experience, bro. How to pace himself. He only got 15 fights. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to look at that. Y'all been watching boxing for a while. You don't come
Yeah.
in there just well, he's an Olympian and everything, but he didn't go for Andy Cruz. That tells me that he don't have that mentality, like he said, I go off mentality. You know what I'm saying? To me, he just comes off like, he's a peacock.
Well, from
He
his
got
from his own mouth though, Pool, he did say that his first fight in Virginia, he went to fight Cruz, but Cruz turned the fight down. He said that fight he
okay.
fought, I forgot who it was that he fought. It might have been the first Albright fight, but whatever was his first homecoming fight. He said he wanted that fight to be Andy Cruz, and they sent Andy Cruz a contract, and Andy Cruz the one who turned it down.
Well,
So
I
whether
mean,
that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what he said.
I think you could line up a bunch of B fighters and look good against. You know, I want to. If I would have seen him like did Eric Gantron Russell like that, then I said, yeah, maybe it's a 50-50 fight. But he haven't fought nobody on that level yet. You know what I'm saying? And we just kind of supposing just because we see his skills against lower level competition that we're thinking it's a 50-50 fight. I think the mentality and the experience is going to come through just like in the Brian Norman fight. You know what I'm saying? I think Keyshawn is a better Brian Norman Jr. And until he can get his experience, this will be a good educational fight for Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's going to lose on his first time out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Going against a champion like Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Just because of the lack of experience. And I think that's what's going to get Devin by in this fight. You know what I'm saying? Is how to pace himself, is how to control his breathing and his emotions in the fight. And I think that's what's going to eat Keyshawn up. You know what I'm saying? The pressure of the moment. You know what I'm saying? That defeats more fighters than their skill level in these kind of fights. And Keyshawn is so hype and so over the top that he's going to burn himself up, bro. He's going to burn up all his talent in the first 2 or 3 rounds, and then he's going to be fooled. He's going to be fooled because he don't know how to pace himself in these kind of fights. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
I think I agree with you, Pool, and that could be the difference maker or the deciding factor in the fight to get Devin hand raised. But I think that, like Crawford, Keyshawn is an instinctual fighter. At the end of the day, even if that is true, what you're saying, he might get gassed out and all that. I just think that dude's willingness to fight is gonna always make a tough fight, and it's gonna carry him through. Just that
Okay.
will, that dog. You know what I mean? But that what you saying could be the deciding factor on why Devin edges the rounds and end up getting the win. But I just think overall that's gonna be a tough ass fight for Devin Haney. Even if he do pull it off, he gonna have to be on point to win that fight.
I, I think Devin going to be on point. He's been getting sharper and sharper. Um, you know what I'm saying? Devin goes in behind a game plan. He don't fight the same every fight. You know what I'm saying? They actually look at the fighter, like you said with Shakur, how he strategized and he fight according to the way the guy fights and what he's gonna be seeing, what the other opponent presents in the ring. And I think they're gonna do that against Keyshawn. I don't
Yeah.
think Keyshawn is so versatile, at this stage in his career. That's why I say he's 1 or 2 fights away from being that dude. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna have to fight better competition. You know what I'm saying? See what he looked like against better competition. Where Devin is the prototype for him. This is the first fight where he's fighting a guy that's really proven. You know what I'm saying? So mm,
Yeah.
but this is
What's up, Devin? Go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying this is the first fight where he's fighting a true champion that been through some shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know why people thinking that he's gonna just shine, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna sink or swim, but I don't think it's a 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more of a 60-40 fight, unless he had a couple of more fights with some top dudes, up, especially he haven't even fought at 147 yet. We ain't even talk about that. Haven't even fought at the weight class yet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, we putting a lot of things, we're giving him a lot of we're giving him a lot of accolades without him having even proven shit. So,
I
I
just
just
gave him
think
that
that
power.
don't be I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Devin go in there and falumaloom. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised.
I just
Yeah,
think
Don't
he
be
you
got a
surprised.
bunch of fans, bro. I think he just got power. That's the only thing that can really even it out for him. I think Devin too fast, bro.
I'm just telling. I'm just letting them know, man. Yeah, people don't look at Dev like he that dude, bro. But Dev done been through some shit. And see, the more shit that you go through, the more confidence you have. The man bounced back from getting his ass beat by a steroid monster. You know what I'm saying? He built himself back up from that. That shows you that boy got a lot of willpower. He got a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? And Keyshawn have yet to shown that. You know what I'm saying? He might get out there and get hit in the nose a couple of times. Like, oh, that jab, he can't stop that jab from fucking him up. And we may see a whole, his confidence may go out the window. You know what I'm saying? We just haven't seen Keyshawn, you know what I'm saying, in face adversity. You know, he's not going to be able to walk through Dev the way he walked through everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. So what is he going to do once he see that there's a guy that can make adjustments in the ring, a guy who can read what he's doing, a high level thinker in the ring? You know what I'm saying? It's different, bro. It's totally different. And I just think people are looking at Keyshawn, they're giving him way too much credit before, you know what I'm saying, he really proves himself at 147. So, that's just what I think about it. That's just what I think about it. you know. But I hope they go ahead and get this shit rolling, man. Because right now, we just had the Bam fight last night. Did y'all watch that fight last night? The Bam fight, the Bam
Yeah,
Bam
I
fight.
watched it.
Yeah, yeah, I was on last night. They talking about his next fight is going to be against Monster Inoue. That dude gave Bam some trouble, bro.
Yeah,
You
he
know what I'm saying?
did.
Yeah,
Now I was just
Vargas
gonna
and
say Robert Garcia just said on the thing yesterday that they need one more fight before they fight Bam.
yeah, you
I ain't
know.
mad at that either. I ain't mad at that, like, cause I mean that dude, like you were saying, Pool, that dude was tough for Bam
Hmm.
last night. He gonna have to grow into that weight, get used to that power up there. Because I mean, that's just not to get his fighter set up to get beat. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I know the
Cause
fans, we don't be wanting to deal with all that shit. We be wanting them to go straight up there for the smoke, but that's a smart trainer and Robert trying to get one more fight before they do that.
well, Monster anyway, he's up at what, 122.
Yeah,
So he's swinging on a whole nother level. He already got a lot of power. Bam, that's a dangerous fight for Bam moving up like that. You know what I'm saying? If he's thinking about fighting Monster anyway, Monster anyway already fast as hell. Um, he take a lot of risks. I think Bam got the better skills, but I think Monster got that power and speed.
yeah,
So that's going to be a dangerous fight. He's going to have to work on his defense because Bam get hit, say a lot, and that's bad to let Monster hit your ass. You know what I'm saying?
right.
'Cause once he hits you, he's gonna be able to put them combinations on your ass. That nigga hit you with the same punch 2 times at that weight. You know what I'm saying? It may not last long, but Bam is a really slick veteran. You know what I'm saying? Even though Vargas was getting off on him, you know what I'm saying? You could see him setting him up. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
just kept pivoting and turning that nigga, man, and kept hitting him with them damn pivot shots and shit. And then he finally caught him with the straight left or right. I forget which one it was. And he just dropped that dude, man. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Bam a bad motherfucker, man. But against some monster anyway, with all that natural ability and speed,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I
yeah.
don't think it's gonna turn out good for him. Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be dangerous for Bam in like the first 4 or 5 rounds before
Hmm.
he's. I think it's gonna come down to, will Monster be able to stop Bam before Bam can gauge his speed and explosiveness? Because Bam,
Hmm.
like, I mean, anyway, like to dart in real fast and explosive.
Hmm.
It's gonna be dangerous before Bam can gauge that speed. But once he get it down and he kind of got his timing a little bit and he kind of know how fast he moving, how hard he hit. If Bam ain't went nowhere yet, by the time he figured that part of the fight out, I think Bam gonna win the fight, and he could
Well, the
possibly
thing
stop anyway.
The thing I like about Bam, he knows how to set up his punches. He'll make you run into punches, just like he did old dude last night. You know what I'm saying? He'll
Right.
make you run into punches. You know what I'm saying? He'll help you knock your own self out. And anyway, ain't that smart of a boxer. You know, he's more of an athletic phenomenon. And I could see him making Inoue run into some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a smart boxer, but he's a little dude. He is a naturally little dude. You know what I'm saying? And the power may be just a little bit too much for Bam up at 122.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Man.
But that's pretty much all I got. You know what I'm saying? I want to come on here and I just wanted to hear what Jay had to say because I know you're a Shakur fan, Shakur Stevenson fan. And I think King Judah wanted to hear what you had to say too. You know what I'm saying
Oh,
about all this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
I was
I
hoping
had
Judah
hit
was on here when I seen you on. I got the notification late today. I got it when
yeah,
when I told you I was gonna hop on. I literally just got the notification, and I saw you was already on for like an hour.
yeah, I had called them up before, you know what I'm saying? I said Jay probably gonna be on here today, so I know he wanted to talk to you about the
Okay.
situation. And but he probably sleep or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much all I got. You know what I'm saying? Tell everybody, you know what I'm saying, we cooked pretty good today and you know what I'm saying, we'll probably be back on tomorrow and what I'm saying, probably about same time, probably about 11 or 12, you know what I'm saying, we'll come back on here and kick it some more. And till then, guys, I see you guys in the next one, man. Thank you,
All right,
Doctor,
cool.
for showing
Peace.
up. Real Josh, you know what I'm saying? Jay, all right, JTV. That's what's up, bro. Peace out, y'all.